If I'm wondering if you want headphones, take them.
Okay, we're recording.
This microphone's a
so,
little
I need
easier
to
to
get over.
use than that one because that one actually stays put. That was giving you space. Apparently
There was
not.
a chair in the way.
Apparently not. I really feel uncomfortable having this award right next to it.
Well, you just have to put it in front of the camera if you want to, and then.
While it's still in the case, they can just guess
No,
what it
you
is.
can take it out of the case.
Well, they can't see me, dang it.
Yeah, we're recording. I know we're broadcasting.
Yeah, they can't see me though.
Hey, I'm just gonna block
Well,
your
that's
view.
because Josh is in charge of the camera. He has
God.
to make sure everybody's in the camera when he's
Why is
settled.
my chair always so tall?
I don't know. Make sure everybody's in camera. Your job.
I'm not in front of the camera.
It's like flipped. Yeah, pool. Get in here. No, you're not.
Get in the camera.
I have to get in the camera.
Yes, you have to be in the camera.
I feel like you're in my bubble.
Right
I
here,
Otherwise,
feel like you're like
no
really
reason-
into my bubble.
Because
There's no
I
reason
see
to
James
use
too.
it.
There you go.
We're
There's
just not
Or-
going to be inside
That's
the
James,
camera.
right? Yeah. I always think of Dylan. I said it right this time.
I no longer
I'm
have a
so
bubble.
proud of you.
Okay, so here we go. Why don't we just do this?
Oh god.
Just have like a little bro cuddle there. No big deal.
Nice. Now they can see my
And what's
back.
your last name?
Hagedorn.
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 By the way, Courtney, Jenny, and Caitlin won't be there tonight.
Yeah! Woo!
At least for right now, they will be.
Damn it! Just waiting. Just waiting for it.
Who was the only one that
court?
You were there last night? You're coming again tonight? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
We played for like an hour, and then we ended up talking for like 2 hours.
Yeah, about sports?
Yes,
Yeah.
and then that's how this happened.
Perfect.
Hey, you want to come on and guess?
Always like
That's
when
good
you guess.
stuff.
That's what sports people do.
What did you guys talk about?
Sports.
And
like,
NBA
And,
is
and
extensively.
college stuff.
Yeah.
Like college like classes and stuff.
Oh.
Majors are hard.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. I dropped my first class today.
You dropped.
Yeah.
He hadn't dropped a class before, so he's
Oh, you dropped your first class all of college.
Yeah.
Well, you know you don't get a W on that, do you?
Yeah, I get
Oh, you do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Until
okay.
November 8th.
Yeah, it's like,
I wouldn't
So
be
it's like-
dropping if I didn't get a W.
it's usually a Thanksgiving
What'd you
break.
drop?
Abstract algebra. It's really hard.
And you're a math major, though.
I know.
So are
No,
you taking
this
it,
is-
or just...
Well, I have to retake it next fall.
Okay, so you're kind of just...
It's
laying
required
it
for my
on right
major, yeah.
now. Okay.
Because I was failing.
Oh,
I
really?
was
Miserably?
I was at 50%.
What's your major again, James?
Business.
Business. So you're always in a beacon school then, probably.
Not yet.
Well, not yet, of course, yeah. But you probably will be.
It's a wonderful building with giant stairs.
Yes.
It's a really nice building.
All the pretty windows.
It's really nice
All
when you,
the
when you compare
lonely-
it to like Dakota Hall or Old Main or something. Anything is nice compared to it.
Compared to this building, everything else seems really crappy.
I
This
like
building
this
is really high tech.
I like this
Like
building.
crazy high.
Well, I like this building because this is the building I'm in all the time.
Mhm.
And I grew up in
I like being here. I kind of like being in. I kind of like being
Pretty
in Del
much.
Zell too, though.
My college year, I grew up
That's
in.
not growing up. That's spending your college career.
Spending my college career here. in this
I don't know.
building.
I've had almost half my classes in Del Zell, so I'm pretty comfortable there.
Education.
I haven't had a
And math classes too. Some
Yeah,
different levels.
okay.
all the buildings around campus. I don't think I haven't had a class at East Hall or in Patterson.
I've never thought of East Hall as an actual class thing.
I actually haven't had one in
It
fine
has
arts either.
offices and stuff. I've had
But I will
classes
next year.
on Patterson and Fine Arts. I have not had classes here
I haven't had one in law school either.
or at Beacom. Oh no, not the law school. Of course, I've never been in the law school. Never even been there. I think most of the buildings I've had classes in, except for like East Hall, Dakota Hall, because I barely consider those classes really.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in them for events.
That's perfect.
But then again, there's classes for like dental hygiene in a building
I
too.
can't. No, there we
That's because there was like a long.
go. Delay.
Oh, really? Problem?
No, it was like a.
Promo.
Not yet. Because I wasn't on top of
5-minute song.
things.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on after this then.
I was looking at Ustream and.
So what did you talk about when you show this week?
This last show?
Yeah.
It's actually a 2-week segment on 10 franchises who may be moving, but it's from all 4 major sports.
Okay.
And I'm doing a toss-up in the next 10 years if they're going to move or win a title. Like, what's more likely?
Huh. Okay.
Pretty.
What were some of the big teams you focused on?
Well, from 10 through 6, it was Oh gosh, the Phoenix Suns were on there.
Okay.
The Raiders were on there.
Mhm.
I had them maybe moving to LA because that
Yeah,
makes more
because
sense.
there's rumors right now
Yeah.
about that. You know.
Yeah, and then I'm trying not to say the ones that haven't been on. I haven't got to my baseball teams. They're in the top 5.
Oh, this is cool.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Hey,
Hey,
He
AI,
said-
AI is one of my favorite.
He
players.
said, I remember what he said. It was like AI, it's like not for his,
yeah, he
What
said
was
not
it?
for
Not
some. Yeah,
not for something, but for this.
yeah.
I think it was like his playing style. And how he was not afraid.
he was a little spark plug that would run into people.
He was
like
I think,
bravery
because he
or
was like, he
something.
was not afraid to go to the
Courageous.
hole.
Yeah.
He was not afraid to create plays under the
Well,
net.
yeah, AI was like 6 foot, like 170
Yeah.
pounds.
He's
like,
officially
needed to-
retiring too.
Yep, he officially retired at the beginning of the year.
But I
So
think
he
they're gonna
couldn't
have a
get job.
ceremony thing
Mhm.
at a Sixers game.
They had a ceremony, I think, in the preseason. Where they had him bring out the game ball and that kind of stuff.
Most famous quote
And
we'll
then they're
hear.
gonna honor him at some point. His
Practice. It's practice.
his
man.
number is pretty much gonna get retired by the 76ers. It's
Was he? What number was he? 3.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it-
Okay.
You know,
Because like
Brandon Jennings is number 3 because of Everton.
because he idoled Iverson.
Iverson should be idolized for his playing style.
Hall of Famer, definitely.
No, yeah, definitely. Even though I don't think he won a title,
He
did he?
didn't. No,
But he
made
had
it to
he got
He did
to,
make it
He
to
got
the
to one
Bucks.
in his
Yeah, but
was that
he-
his rookie year? They got to the
Yeah, they beat
to
the Bucks
one?
in the Eastern Finals, and they played
Yeah.
the Lakers.
He was the
Oh, they
he was the
played
number
one
1
year.
overall pick, I think, and he basically took him to the finals first year. Because why
Yeah,
not? I mean,
he had some crazy.
unfortunately, most of his prime years were wasted on bad Sixers teams. So.
That's a cool photo
They moved to Denver.
I know, right?
with Make Your Point. I guess I haven't really
How
looked
about the
at it.
distorted wave
What's a
profile?
cat?
That is my cat.
That's what we have on
So you put that on for your...
Yeah.
on our Facebook
that
page.
is my
That's our
cat.
profile thing. I updated our cover pic too. Isn't it awesome?
That is cool.
I know,
Let's see.
right?
Oh my god, I'm tagged and
I
stuff.
actually did things.
Gosh, I was going
last
for the
night.
Pirates.
I was too.
Me too.
Oh,
I wanted
That's a
them
bummer.
so much to beat the St. Louis Cardinals because they're always there.
They're always making it.
Always making
And
it.
they have a great farm system, so we're going to have to deal with them.
I talked about that on my show last night. If St. Louis could be considered one of those dynasties, those dynasty in sports,
Yeah.
because I think they're the second.
Second behind the Yankees.
Yeah,
in
they
titles.
have like 11 titles when the Yankees have
28.
27, 28.
Plus, they've been great for so long. One of the beauty of dynasties too is that it doesn't necessarily just die with a loss of key pieces. They've lost Pujols.
Yeah,
They've lost a lot of people. Haven't missed a step.
And
They-
Tony La
their
Russa.
manager,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, Mike
manager.
Matheny, he's proven he's an above average at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
manager.
So-
He's got a shot to get his first one here.
Yeah.
His
Unless
first,
the Dodgers can come back.
Unless-
Kind of.
Here's the
We
game.
kinda hope
Let's see, it was Kershaw and Wacha last night, wasn't it?
Waka.
Waka?
It's
Waka.
Waka.
Only they could bitch
Waka.
Kershaw.
You say Waka, I
well,
think
there's some other
Muppets.
guys. Grinke was.
It was probably
Oh,
Greinke.
so
Yeah,
because
Greinke
this
did.
next game will probably be Kershaw.
So,
Which is great for the
so
Dodgers.
tonight is Kershaw and Waka.
Yeah, because they gave Kershaw an extra day of rest
And
because they had one short rest.
then I bet if it
We
does
talked
go
about
Game
that last
7,
week.
Wainwright starting.
I get a
for
little.
St. Louis.
I haven't really kept up as much.
Who's
I
We're
don't
gonna
keep
talk
up, but
about-
there's so many
That's his
games.
name.
I know, we're going to talk about
Ryu?
Game
Ryu,
7
there you
or
go.
Game 5, not Game 7.
If he's
of
if he's
Detroit and
good to go,
Oakland,
maybe
because
they
that
put him
happened
Game
on the
7 or
Thursday
Yeah.
we had our show
Because
last
I
week,
doubt
so we
the-
have to talk about that one. And then we'll go
Unless they put in a
With the-
guy
oh, that
who's
Oakland
average
game?
for Game
Yeah, the
6,
final one
and
where
then
Detroit
they
won.
leave.
Oh, yeah,
Kirk
that's
a little
Cousins
risky,
to
though.
seven.
I
That's
picked
a
I
little
picked
risky.
Oakland to lose.
Well,
Yeah.
Ryu's
I
not
picked
bad,
him to be
though.
like 5-4.
He really is.
And I picked
His
Oakland to
record
win
may not have
3-0.
shown it, but
It's like-
the
And
games
you're
he's
like,
played,
yeah, I got it really
he's
close. I was like,
lights
you
out.
can't.
No, I
I
said
saw
you picked the right
I
team.
saw
I
him
picked closer to
play
the right score.
The
So
first
together
combined,
we had it.
First start I saw him play.
Cool. Where?
And it was against an NL team that was very good too. And he,
Oh,
I
hey,
think
you
the team
forgot
won
someone in our
3-1.
debate.
And he'd just.
I don't have him as a- I
totally
can't
Wait, you
not-
saw it
find
live?
You
or
could,
TV?
you could just
It was on
type
ESPN.
James.
I said super special guest. So
I think it was
people
like.
are,
I bet it was.
intrigued
I think it was
to
actually.
tune in. It's like, oh, we
I
have
bet
to
it
see
was
who
the
the
Cardinals.
guest is.
Oh.
Or
Because the
here.
Cardinals
Cardinals
been
been
Braves.
on
The
ESPN.
Cardinals
Oh,
are
wait,
Braves.
see.
They
Hey.
can see him now. Yes, totally.
What about the Braves? You got BJ Upton. So
Yeah.
wonderful. Justin Upton.
BJ Upton, you could see him being a bust from the beginning, though.
Andrew, a friend of mine, he's on my show. He was so pissed because he's like, "It's again. It happened this year. It happened again."
How about Ugla?
Start it.
Just blame it on Ugla.
Wrong one.
All on
Here we
Ugla.
Can't blame it all on one.
Unless
No,
you
can't
want
put it on
these,
Ugly
then
because he
go
wasn't even
ahead.
on postseason roster, was he?
well, maybe you should have done better with this $13 million contract.
They didn't even play him in the NLDS, did they? They left him off the roster.
Yeah, they left him off
That's a spite.
$13 million a year because he batted below the Mendoza
It means
line.
I love you in Dinosaur.
Yes.
Rawr.
So yeah, we're starting baseball and then
All right.
And welcome here to Make Your Points. I am your host, Victoria Harmony. With me today, my two special co-hosts, Josh Earl and Nathan Poole, and a wonderful guest, our first guest of the year. I can remember this. James Hagedorn.
Yes.
I said it right.
Yep.
Yay. It's not as bad as Joey. I always had to say Joey's like 5 times before I could say his last name.
I still kind of have his name and kind of don't.
I got it. I got it down. I practiced.
Yeah, we all
enough.
got it down.
I got it down. But this is week 8 of the semester.
Has it only been 8 weeks?
Yeah, it's only been 8
Does that mean
weeks.
it's midterm? Oh crap!
It's midterm weeks.
Yeah,
How are you guys midterms going?
Happy midterm, everybody.
I actually haven't really had a midterm.
Yeah,
I had
me
a
too.
test. I had a test on Wednesday. That was pretty much our midterm for that one class. But other than that, I've been just kind of stress free.
Well,
Well,
you know, a
that's
test counts as a midterm, so I mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Did
just
it
saying.
go well?
I think it did.
That's good.
I passed.
Yeah,
Don't know how well I did. I think I passed though.
that's good, I guess. How's yours?
I'm
Josh and
never
James?
stress free. How does that feel?
You are now, I thought.
No, because I still
More
have that
stress-ish.
documentary,
Oh.
which I get to
yeah.
interview
Because
him.
you never
I-
planned it.
I have to make it in one day basically because now the guy got back to me, so I get to interview him at 9 a.m. on Monday.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Do you know when it's due?
Tuesday. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I got told that on Wednesday.
So,
I'm just
all
like,
night-
So
oh, okay.
you should help me with that Monday.
We got time after the show, maybe.
Well, yeah.
You
I might
do
pull an
because you're a
all-nighter
night
for it.
owl.
Yeah.
I always
So
have
you're
time,
pretty much
yeah.
always.
I might very well
did
just pull
this
an all-nighter.
weird thing last night where I actually fell asleep when I got home after a study session. I fell asleep at like 8:30. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I've been up since 4. So I got a good night's sleep, actually.
Yeah,
I got
that-
like 8 hours.
That was the thing. Like I texted you because I was
I was
checking.
asleep.
So I was checking about you coming on the show.
Yeah.
And then at like 4 in the morning, like I saw you on Skype, and I was like, "Hey, why you no answer text?"
It's like, hey, why are you awake at 4? But whatever. So James, how are your midterms going?
I actually haven't had an official one either, but the schoolwork in general, it always piles up.
It
And,
does.
it's
It
hard to deal with,
definitely
but
does.
he's got to fight through it.
So-
Well, that's the life of a freshman, I guess,
Yep.
in college.
Just a freshman.
You have to
I don't
get
know
used to
anything.
it and
Yeah.
do all the work.
I don't know, honestly, I found the freshman year easier than the sophomore year.
Yep.
Oh,
I
great.
got hit by the sophomore.
Wait till
slump.
you get to your junior year. That's when stuff starts to happen.
Junior
year
It's real.
fun.
Junior year
It's not so
classes
bad.
get harder, but the thing with the sophomore year is like that sophomore slump is real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It
didn't
does
mind.
hit you.
I don't
but
like junior year so much, but
My junior year
I-
was just jam-packed with all these major classes that I had to take and everything like that.
yeah.
So that just was just stressful. But now this semester it's like lay back because I only got 12 credits.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
You're
I-
the senior. You're
I-
the old guy.
yes.
I just have hard classes, but now I only have 12 credits, so now I can kind of lay back. After I get caught up with Indian Ed, I'm just like, okay.
I'm
We're
like an
just sailing.
overachiever. I have like 18 credits. I'm like, oh, hey guys, I'm not doing it.
I'm in the middle of 15.
I had 15.
That's pretty much a requirement in order to.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
start out, yeah.
let's welcome James to our lovely crew as we have debuted our Ustream channel today after requests from Josh and Nate, kind of, because we had our.
It was mostly
Did we
Josh.
request?
Yeah,
Did I
you kind of
request?
asked about it.
Because you guys were doing
Oh.
it for.
We're doing it for Distorted.
Distorted, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were also doing it for House of Cards.
Nope.
No? No
Nope.
House of Cards?
Nope.
Okay. My bad.
Nope.
We didn't even have House of Cards last week.
My bad.
Yeah, and in honor of our first Ustream, I wore my picnic table shirt.
Yeah. Good job.
I like it.
It's purple.
So you can
It is
tune
purple.
in
Is that purple?
whenever
That is
you
purple.
choose. It is on our 3 personal pages because I tagged those 2. I don't have James as a Facebook friend, so I can't tag him. But
Well, we're all
It's okay.
friending him after the show.
Totally. But yeah, so you can find it on our personal pages. I didn't put it on our main page that's affiliated with the station for reasons there may be vulgarities in the breaks, and I try to avoid having anything like that affiliated with the station.
with me here, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I think last week was when we started talking about racial differences during the breaks.
Gosh.
And I think the station might have a bit of a disagreement with our views on racial disparities.
Our bad.
So, now that we've had our long one.
Woo! It's only 5:10.
And Cybercorder's not on, so we're not recording. That's fun.
Well, you can get that ready.
No, like the program's not on at all.
Oh.
But contests. Oh, hey.
But
Okay, well, you guys talk, and I'll see if I can figure it out, because I think the computer froze again anyway, so...
Alright, and for people who are viewing our Ustream,
You can take it out of the package!
I'm careful about it.
Josh is putting our award that we won this last March for our show here. So, it's best, I think it was best sportscast talk show, maybe?
In like small market.
Well, it's on the thing.
We were
Or best radio
sportscast
talk.
program, student
There you
market
go.
radio.
There you go.
I'm honored to be in its presence.
That could be you.
It could be you someday.
It could be you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just the pride. Oh, the pride.
We can repeat this year.
We can repeat. It's gonna.
Heck yeah, we're gonna repeat.
It's.
Why wouldn't we repeat?
Heard it here first.
It's kind of crazy, actually, to think back of like how the show started. Never saw that coming.
Yeah, and especially kind of Victoria took the reins on it and was like, "Let's do it."
And I definitely need to get more on track, counting how many shows we've actually had. We have to restart the whole computer to get Cybercorder up.
I was actually thinking
Totally
about
not
that.
worth it, so we're just not going to record it.
I was kind of thinking about that like this morning. I was thinking about like if I guested on other shows and that kind of stuff. I wonder how many shows I've actually done. It's probably
Right.
it's probably like in all my shows combined, I've got to be around like 70 or 80.
I don't even want to think about
You were
my shows
on my
combined.
show once when we had the
Yeah.
boxing match
Yeah.
thing, and you kind of came on for a short while, but that was like the only time I've had you on my
I
show.
can't even. But the thing is, like, I don't even know how many distorted waves and making points.
I don't even want to
Those guys
consider
should
how many I've done.
I think it'd be really kind of cool because I mean, if I could reach 100, that would be really kind of interesting.
At the end of your term, Victoria, I would be surprised if you're over 150 shows total of what you've been a part
Really?
of.
Are you, I think I'd be more
Because
than
you had like
that.
4
Right.
shows at one point.
You got 4 shows, most of them sports, 2 that are.
Yeah, we're gonna restart and see this week.
If you do 4 shows for a whole year, that's approximately 120. So
Yeah, so.
Right, I know. But I mean, I guessed it too because you have to count the specials, and then if you
You
want
gotta
to
count Sportscast,
I was
maybe.
gonna say we want to count sportscast
so
too.
so you probably have almost
I'm
come up to like
probably at it
200 by the
right
end
by
of the
now.
semester.
Well, yeah, I'm probably pretty up there. So we restarted the computer.
I have like 4.
Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go.
So,
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, we
right?
all gotta start somewhere.
I don't think I started. I only had one show my first semester, I think.
Yeah, so
Just
did
gotta-
I.
Just
This will
gotta
be
start
5,
somewhere.
actually. Yeah.
There you go.
Just
so you
learn as
just
you go.
add on.
Yeah,
to
just
it.
keep track of it because
Just
Keep
guess
track while I
everywhere.
at a certain
Yeah.
point, I think I was like tracking because we were tracking like our first year, and then like we got above like 15. I was like, I don't care anymore.
Did you?
just
I didn't
done.
keep track.
I was
I
kind
mean,
of
like,
I was
I
kind of
saved
counting
the
like we
files.
counted how many like weeks we had, but at a certain point, I was just like,
I don't remember counting weeks. I save all the files unless the ones that get corrupted and stuff. But
Mhm.
and we're restarting the computer.
Which
This week. 'Cause
sometimes I've had problems with
Right,
Cyber
right.
Recorder not recording
didn't we
We
lose a
lost
bunch
the
of
files.
files last year or something like that? Or the
I
year
found a lot
before?
of those actually. We only ended up losing I think 1 or 2. We've lost
Okay.
1 this year. So
Well, you bet those would have been contest winning ones.
probably, but we won 1 anyway. So
Yeah.
So, booyah.
Now we're starting from scratch, and I feel like we already have some
Scratch.
clips that could be
Oh, yeah.
winning.
I
we
think
do.
so, and that's why I'm restarting because I definitely want to get some of the college in today because there's a good topic I want to talk about.
Good.
Thank you. The committee. That one.
I missed
Oh,
it.
that one.
Missed one.
I missed
Yes,
it.
we'll talk about the committee.
That one.
But, anyways, I've been having a lot of problems with Cybercorder.
That's why we're
lately.
just talking and rambling. But
Well, because I
hopefully,
had
like
problems
usual,
on
we can
Pandora too, like it randomly just stops.
We'll need to talk
Per usual, hopefully you guys at home enjoy this. So we enjoy it.
Yeah. So we'll have to
Heck, I'm
talk
not
to Don
fun.
about that then.
Yeah, I think it's just Alright. We're recording officially. Joy,
All right.
joy, joy.
Yeah.
So, I don't have my notes up offhand, but we are going to start with MLB things, and I know the first topic I wanted to touch on was the game that happened last Thursday, the Detroit Tigers and the Oakland A's. It was their final game in the series of the AL Division. And the Tigers came ahead 3-0, winning that and going on to the LCS, which is currently happening. So I just wanted to touch on that game. Any surprises that happened during the game? Were you surprised the Tigers won the series? Were you expecting more from the Athletics? Just a few touch-ups there.
Well, it's been a long time since looking back at this series, but I was surprised that Oakland didn't produce anything score-wise. I was expecting a lot more out of them because they were scoring in bunches of numbers throughout the entire series, and then this game they just totally got shut down. I was hoping it'd be a lot closer game than what it was, but kudos to Detroit. They've been there before, and they're on the verge of maybe doing that again and making a second straight World Series.
Yeah, as good as Oakland is, and they were good this year, and I thought they could have gone further too, but the Tigers, they're pitching with Scherzer, Verlander, Fister, and Miguel, and offense, Cabrera, Fielder. They're a machine. And Boston's staying in it, but I don't know. We gotta see what happens going forward.
I was just kind of interested in just how pitiful the offense was for Oakland. Just flat out. I mean, Verlander can be dominant. This regular season, he wasn't.
Was he the starter in Game 5? Yeah, it was. Because it was kind of like a make or break game.
It was Verlander versus Gray, yeah. And there's basically two surprises for me, basically, because Verlander just dominating, but to come out and get 3 hits in the do-or-die game, you just can't have that. Especially when your number 2 hole gets 3 strikeouts. Not just 3 strikeouts on 16. In 4 at-bats, he saw 16 pitches from the number 2 hole. That's not acceptable at all.
Were you surprised Oakland started Sonny Gray at pitcher? Because he's young.
No, actually, we talked
about
it.
This year?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show because it was Gray or Cologne. They went with the guy who had won the previous game because Gray won his start.
We talked about that last week in OG Stuff too, though. So
yeah, I'm just educating.
Oh, okay.
No, that was the thing. Also, and this is just me being cynical, I'm slightly surprised the Tigers actually successfully, Benoit came in and successfully saved the game. I just don't, we talk about how I have faith in
No, I was going to say, I had a surprise, too. I was surprised that Miguel Cabrera finally came through and hit a home run.
That was his first one
of the entire postseason, not just of the series or anything. Like, the entire postseason, he finally hit one.
Yeah, he provided what little offense they needed to win this game.
3-0.
Which is kind of sad. I'm looking at the box score though. Just parts of it like make me laugh. Like the 9-hole hitter for the Tigers got 2 walks. What?
Well, since then they've really switched up their lineup.
Yeah,
they've switched crazy things.
We'll probably touch on that in a little bit.
Yeah.
In that game, Jackson continued to fail, but I just found that really funny because I mean, how do you walk the 9-hole twice? Like really?
Would they have a 9?
Kelly.
Okay. Not a bad 9-hole though.
Oh well, I mean, especially if you're a playoff team, there is no hole in your lineup, generally speaking, unless you're the Cardinals and shortstop. Cosmo, we love you. I don't know. It's just stuff that tickles my fancy. I guess it's funny to me. 2 walks and a strikeout.
All right. Any final comments on that game? Okay, so we'll move on to the LCS, which is the League Conference Series, for those not savvy with the terminology. And the first one we'll hit is the NL, the Cardinals versus the Dodgers. They are currently at Game 6, with the series in favor of St. Louis 3-2, and that was as of yesterday, that game being played last night. The scores, since we haven't had a meeting since last Thursday, the Dodgers lost Game 1 3-2 in 13 innings. They lost Game 2 1-0, went down quick 2-0, and I think there hasn't been a team come back from a 2-0 deficit since like 2002 or more than that.
That'd be 2004 when Boston
2004?
did it.
Okay.
03.
It's been, that'd be what,
9
years?
10 years?
Hey Vic, can I cut in real quick?
No, because we're doing scores. You can cut in after the scores. So, Game 3, the Dodgers came back to win 3-0. Game 4, St. Louis took 4-2. And Game 5 last night, the Dodgers managed to force a Game 6. They won 6-4. So Game 6 is happening tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time. They're not doing the 37s anymore, apparently. Well, it's happening tomorrow. We'll talk about the last game after Josh's insertion.
You said League Conference Series? Right?
Isn't it? League Championship.
Not only did you get the name
My
wrong, but
bad.
you're like, for
League
anybody who doesn't
Championship.
know.
My bad. I wasn't thinking, because I was thinking...
guess I've never really caught that either.
League
So we were just kind of cheesing that over here.
Championship. Happens, okay? It happens.
No, just saying it was fine.
League
But then you were like,
Conference,
for
yeah.
those who don't know, and I'm
It's
just like,
just like, oh wait. At least I didn't say the wrong name again. Like, I used to call this a sports spectacular all the time.
Yeah.
At least that didn't happen.
True.
Don't do that.
I know.
Which is not my show's not even the sports
I know.
spectacular.
Anyways,
and then it'll just
let's
be like,
talk
Pete
about the
better.
last game, because that was 6-4 to the Dodgers. Have a chance now to come back in this series, do you think?
Well, this series goes back to Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Yep,
I
because
believe.
Game 6, and that's usually the away team.
Yeah.
So they'll, I think they could force a Game 7. Do I think they'll win the series? I still don't.
No, I think
if they do win Game 6, I think St. Louis takes Game 7. It's going to be a really tough series.
no, it goes back
Or
to
maybe-
St. Louis.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
it's
in St.
St.
Louis.
Louis.
It's in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Game 6 and 7,
All right.
Yeah.
So,
if necessary.
Oh.
no,
Did they
I
change this?
They
must-
might have changed the
they
format.
must for-
2-3-2?
I
Is it
bet,
now?
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
every time.
Okay.
So, then to reiterate that, no, I don't think they win Game 6. I think Cardinals finish off tomorrow night.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the pitching matchup on that? one?
Kershaw versus Waka.
Oh, Waka has proven something to me this year.
Yeah, but Kershaw.
But Kershaw, man,
Kershaw.
two great pitchers going at
I
it.
can't bet against Kershaw on this one. They force a Game 7 in my mind just because Clayton Kershaw, he has the Sandy Koufax comparisons, and he just might be one of the greatest of this era.
And he'll be a great Dodger if he stays there, of course.
Yeah.
He's
I think he was.
Yeah, I think I'm saying.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. I mean, as much as I'm big on the Cardinals and I think they win in Game 7, I'm not entirely sure who pitches Game 7, actually.
I can see if they have.
It wouldn't be... No, that's the Tigers. Wouldn't be
It would
Greinke
probably
and
be
Kershaw.
Wainwright.
Wainwright? Who pitches to the Dodgers, though? Who's their number 3?
Rue?
I think it was
Oh,
Ryu.
Ryu. Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually
But he
interesting.
just played in Game 5. Yeah, he just pitched Game 5.
Yeah, they usually don't announce it in the playoffs until like day
Big
before.
day of. Or
Because, I mean, it wouldn't
before.
be Greinke because he just pitched the last game.
I don't think they'd go to Greinke in Game 7, to be honest with you.
I don't know. He's come up pretty
They
good
would
this
they
year.
would go the
Kept
second
him
if
alive.
not the first
Yeah.
starter, they go second starter, which I don't even know who it is.
He is the number 2 starter. I guess number 3 would be Ryu.
I think Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu
yeah,
would be the
safe
3.
bet. Not a safe bet, but he could do it.
Yeah, I still think the Cardinals win in Game 7, but I can't bet against Kershaw. I just
Yeah,
can't
7,
do it.
they have Ryu versus Wainwright.
Ooh,
Okay.
Also,
That's
it is
interesting.
Ryu versus
And Wainwright has really stepped up, especially after all of Carpenter's issues.
Yep.
Yeah. So after all of Carpenter's issues, he stepped up and been an ace in his own right. So I think
Yeah.
Wainwright comes out in Game 7. And in Game 6, it's going back. It's going back for Game 7.
that should be a good one. Ryu had a 3 ERA flat in the season, but Wainwright had 294. So
Yeah, Ryu had a great season for a
I think
rookie.
Wainwright
He's kind of lost it now.
has been
Yeah.
undefeated at home. Right? This postseason?
maybe
this
Or maybe,
postseason.
maybe,
Oh,
maybe,
postseason.
yeah.
Postseason, yeah, I think
In the
so.
postseason,
he beat
he's
the
undefeated
Pirates, but I think
Yeah.
that was when they faced AJ Burnett, who got shellacked.
at home. Maybe.
Andrew Burnett got knocked down in the third.
But
inning.
but still, he's undefeated. So
Yeah.
I think Game 7 is in St.
Tough
Louis.
place to play.
Yeah.
yeah, just a little quip. I feel kind of sorry for Ryu actually, because he had a great rookie season, but he kind of gets lost in all the hubbub. In the NL, there were so many rookies.
Puig, Henderson, Alvarez.
Puig, Alvarez,
Kershaw.
Fernandez from Florida.
Yeah.
Anybody remember him? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That guy. So,
And the Braves had a rookie.
the pitcher?
Taylor or Medlin.
No.
No, not Edlin. He's
Oh no, I'm thinking the Rays.
Myers.
Will
That's
Myers.
AR. That's
Yeah.
AL though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Myers is kind of gonna just skulk away with that one because in the AL there's some.
NL was much deeper with rookies this year. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the Dodgers.
They just
But then
got
again,
on.
Ryu, it's hard to call him a rookie technically.
He's a quasi-rookie. We can use our pet term.
He's like a rookie in the same way that Ichiro was a rookie back in 01.
Quasi-rookie. Anyways, let's move on to the AL. Speaking of AL matchups, the league championship series. There is the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, and the Boston Red Sox. The Tigers took Game 4, 7-3 to tie that series up to 2. Game 5 is happening tonight at 8 Eastern Time. That's 7 our time for anyone interested in watching that. Are you surprised at how this series has turned out so far?
I am not, even though I did say, I think I said this last week when I was on for an hour.
No, we didn't talk baseball when you were here.
Okay, I must not have, 2 weeks ago. I was thinking,
you might have done it on the FBS,
and maybe I did
do
it too.
Here.
Yeah, I was saying that maybe Boston could take this in 5, but as of right now, it won't be taken.
Great
in 5.
series.
Yeah,
Obviously.
this is going to be a great series. I take back everything I said, and really not having any faith in the Detroit Tigers, because I was thinking they were going to slump. Verlander wasn't going to be the same pitcher, but he's come alive now this postseason, and Boston now is facing competition in the postseason that really they didn't have in the first series against Tampa Bay.
How about Game 2? Did you see that this weekend?
Yeah,
David Ortiz did it again.
Late heroics.
He always seems to come through when they need him.
And they're going to need him in this series too.
Definitely.
Hands down.
Definitely. Now their offense, they slumped the last game, so.
Even though they had 12 hits, they only gained 3 runs, and they had more hits than the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
But the Tigers had those hits that drove in runs. They just got hits that got them on base.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy because I want to have faith in the Red Sox. Here's the thing: I think this goes 7 games.
Oh,
That's fair.
I still think the Red Sox win in the end. But tonight's game, it's kind of hard to bet against how Sanchez has been pitching this season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of faith in him when the Tigers gave him that big deal a year ago. I was like, okay, so he's proven he's a decent pitcher, but I don't think he's proven he's worth like $10 million a year. And then he's come out and pitched like a pure ace.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. I mean, getting out of the regular season, 2.57 ERA, over 200 strikeouts.
That's why the Tigers it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous in the AL especially.
Yeah, facing those lineups at DH.
Yeah. I mean, so I got to go with him for this game, especially with Lester. I mean,
Lester's off and on.
He pitched well at the beginning of the series. I mean, 1.42 ERA is great and everything, but he lost.
You just don't know what to expect.
He can show up one game and then just be completely out.
You look at both of these teams too. They got some deadly pitchers in their starting rotation.
Oh yeah.
Boston, Lester, Lackey, Peavy, and then Buchholz.
The difference,
and then they have Pfister, Sanchez, Verlander, and Scherzer.
The difference between them, though, is like them becoming like elite pitchers. With the Tigers, a lot of theirs was like developed, so there's more continuity to it. I mean, they went out and signed Sanchez, but they had him for a year before they signed him to that big deal. And he wasn't an elite pitcher before being with the Tigers. A lot of their aces, they've kind of developed, and they have that continuity in their whole team, as opposed to the Red Sox, where they went out and bought. Their aces.
Well, they called it almost rebuilding, but with Boston, that's pretty
kind
fast.
of. I mean, Lester came up through the Red Sox system, and Buchholz, who I don't know if he's even in the starting rotation.
Yeah, he pitched.
He pitched game 2.
Yeah.
But pretty much a lot of their other guys, Lackey, Peavy, those were all bought.
And that huge blockbuster they had with the Dodgers really kind of paid off for both sides.
Oh, yeah. That was a fantastic deal for everybody because it gave those players a new start, and they've been performing over there.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for Carl Crawford, actually. I mean, it wasn't his fault the Red Sox just wanted to throw money at him.
Yeah.
And same for Gonzalez, and the Red Sox got a bunch of picks and kind of
cleared up cap space.
Yeah, they've been doing really well from it. It's win-win for both sides.
How about the shakeup in the lineups that has happened recently, particularly for Detroit?
It needed to happen. It really did.
That was a crazy lineup.
Austin Jackson was bad like .100 or something
How are
in the
you
postseason.
feeling about it? Are you excited for this change? Because I can list off their lineup for tonight is Hunter, Cabrera, Fielder, Martinez, Peralta, Infante, Avila, Jackson, and Iglesias.
I think Cabrera's second is wild.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Basically, all they did was they took Jackson, put him in the 8-hole, and just moved everybody up.
Yeah.
And I just laughed at this because I was like, okay, so we just don't need an elite off hitter. We're just going to bat.
Yeah, Torrey Hunter.
Basically.
Well, they popped.
And it's really
And
interesting.
Torrey Hunter's
That
leading
works
off for the
well.
first time since 2009?
Or way before that.
2004, maybe?
Earlier.
2002.
I think it was 99.
No, it was in the 2000s. It was in the 2000s.
Was it 2000s?
It was in the 2000s.
I read an article about it. I can't quite
Yeah, I
remember.
just saw that.
But
I saw that, but I saw 2000 something.
Turn of the century somewhere.
believe it or not, looking at all those players on Detroit, I actually know who they are.
I'm so proud.
So that's like,
Were you not supposed
in my
to?
terms, no, I'm just saying, in my terms, that's a stacked lineup.
They're pro players.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean,
But I'm just saying that's a stacked lineup that almost everyone on that
There aren't
lineup
many
can get you
no-names.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are no no-name people that we don't know.
Well, even if there are no
Bulgarians?
name, there are people we've come to know.
Like what?
Bogarts.
For
Boston.
That's Boston.
yeah, I don't know who that
Oh,
is.
he's like super prospect.
Mm-hmm.
He's their super prospect. Yeah. It's like a shortstop.
I know Napoli. I know
Xander.
Ortiz.
His name is Xander.
Xander, that's an awesome
Xander,
name.
Xander
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, I
Bogaerts.
have to
That's
see
awesome.
what it is. It's Xander.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He has a good slugging percentage. Isn't that?
He's a power hitter.
Obviously, because his slugging percentage is 364. But he's batting 8, so that doesn't say much for him either.
It's because he's a rookie.
They don't want him starting up. Well,
Bryce
unless you guys
Harper
go.
was a rookie.
This
He
is-
batted
this-
what last year?
This
Puig
is
is
his first
an
time
exception to
back.
everything.
But the Puig, I think, is 5th in the lineup. He's not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
top 3.
But what was Harper last year as a rookie?
Up there.
Top 5.
Two?
I think he was
probably.
like no.
No, I don't think he was a
I thought he was
He was
around like
fourth,
6th or
wasn't
something
he?
like that. No,
He was down lower,
And what
but
in
was
his
Trout?
rookie year or what?
His rookie year. Well,
Oh,
Trout
Depends
last
how
year.
fast you come in there, basically. The Angels weren't a good team, so I was like, hey, let's just bat Trout leadoff. I mean, why not?
But I mean, you can't just say because he's a rookie that's why he's batting 8.
That's part
I
of
mean,
why
there's
he's a
other
rookie.
reasons.
He was not just a rookie. He was a rookie that hasn't been starting like every
Okay,
game.
so there's
for them.
other reasons.
He doesn't have the postseason experience either.
Yeah.
neither of them do.
My
Neither of
bad.
them
My
do.
statement had implied things with it, but you just took it at face value. I'm sorry.
Like some listeners, though.
Like some sorry listeners.
We need to expand on this. So, any more comments on the Boston-Detroit matchup? What are you expecting tonight?
Oh, jeez.
I have Leicester 7 innings, 2 runs.
Oh, bold prediction guy.
Yeah, Annabelle 6 innings, 4 runs. There we go.
Yeah, I see.
Good picture, though.
Is it in Detroit?
I have Boston
Yeah, I think I have Boston too. Close game though.
4-3.
Boston's.
1999.
Oh, okay, that's close to 2000.
fact
Close
he
enough.
couldn't put that away. He just had
I
to.
had
ruin your
It was
night.
close enough to 2000.
Turn of the century.
He just had to make
Got it.
sure you're wrong.
Whatever.
I remember
Who
this
are you
stuff.
taking, Boston or Detroit?
Tonight? Detroit.
Ooh, he's going the other way.
Well, it's in Detroit.
Pitching
so I mean,
matchup.
I really
I'm
wouldn't
taking the
be
pitching
surprised.
matchup.
Annabelle is usually better, but it's postseason magic. You never know.
Right.
It's Boston.
Yeah,
Boston's
Boston does have a lot of
You know Annabelle's ERA in this series? 0.
0.
Yeah.
It will definitely be
Yeah, because he had a
interesting.
light out game in game 4.
I'm not doubting Annabelle at all, but I don't know. Boston's offense they're bound to bounce back after their last outing.
The bounce back, but the Tigers' offense is it's just really solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the X factor actually is Austin Jackson at that 8 hole.
That's interesting.
Maybe
Bold
not.
predictions.
He hasn't done much.
X Factor,
anyways,
bold
He did a lot.
But-
He did a lot in the last game. Out of that 8 hole.
He was supposed to be their next Curtis Granderson after they traded away.
You mean guy that hits home runs, steals bases, and strikes out like half the time?
How dare you? How dare you?
Here's the thing. I love Austin Jackson as a player, but it's hard for me to get behind a leadoff hitter that's on base percentage is like .300. It's
Right.
really hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
So we're gonna take a quick break. Come back with some NFL. You're listening to Make Your Point. So we do every week.
Who sings "Rock Me, Mama"?
I've never heard of that song in my life.
That's not the song name, I don't think.
I think it's Darius Rucker. It's Wagon Wheel.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Rock
it's
me like the wind
that's not Rock
It's
Me
Wagon
Mama, it's
Wheel.
Wagon Wheel.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have Ryan Dempster too.
Oh, wow.
Paying him $13 million.
30 seconds. Okay, what we do every week is
So
we
much
talk about
money.
games that happened last week, anything
Okay.
you want to bring up about last week's games and stuff like
Oh, this is
that.
NFL, right?
Yeah,
So much
we're done with
money.
baseball. Straight NFL for the next half hour.
Why
Sweet.
is there so much
We got a lot of stuff
money?
to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of quarterback situations to talk about.
Let's
We're going to
do
be
it.
talking about most of
Oh,
them.
did you
Can't say
did you
anything
read
yet,
about
or-
the Texans?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you see Brandon Whedon's
Most-
job
I think
was put on
so, most of them.
Craigslist?
Yes, we're going to talk about that.
I saw that.
I didn't. That was the article I did.
Yeah. And we're back here on Make Your Points. I'm Victoria Harmony. Here with me today, Josh Earl, Nathan Poole, and James Higgathorne.
Hagedorn.
Hagedorn.
close.
I'm gonna get there eventually. Hagedorn sounds cooler. Just saying. I'm just kidding.
Change your name.
Getting personal.
Change your
Yeah.
name.
Change your name.
Be your nickname, but no, not really.
The Thorn.
Here we go. Here comes the Thorn. Thanks for tuning in
That
to
could be your
the
DJ
Thorn.
name. No, that's his DJ name.
DJ
This is my-
Thorn.
Yep,
yeah,
DJ
this is my
Thorn.
show,
Oh.
DJ Thorn.
Hey, I
Right
just
there.
wanted to clarify something real quick. I was a little inaccurate. He gets a lot of slack for striking out and everything like that. Austin Jackson's career on base percentage is actually .344.
Alright, you
So
don't
that's
have to
pretty
say point. You know that, right?
Whatever, I don't care.
You can
I
just
say
say
it- I say it
44.
too.
It's more official.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I just
it's professional.
take the point out. But anyways, we are on the
He's
topic
batting
of
.34.
NFL now. We are done with baseball, so no more baseball. We are on
I
to
just want to
NFL.
clarify.
We are going to start our weekly topic of games that happened last week. Were there any surprises, upsets, shockers that any of you want to bring up as a...
I was shocked with how poorly Minnesota played.
Okay.
That's for sure. I know the whole thing with Adrian Peterson, and
Pretty sad.
that was a really
Really sad.
personal matter and a very sad moment for Adrian Peterson himself.
Yeah,
but
very
really,
sad,
it just was insult to injury how bad they played against a Carolina defense that is actually pretty good this year.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't put all that on AP.
Oh, I'm not putting it all
I
on
know,
AP.
I know. But he only got 10 carries. So
True.
I mean, you can't say that the offense didn't run through him because they didn't give him the
Yeah, I know.
opportunities.
Matt
I'm not
Castle.
saying that.
And I actually saw it too that most of the fourth quarter he was sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So I mean,
Was their defense that bad, actually? 'Cause
Oh,
I'm looking at this, and I'm like, Castle
It was-
stats are okay.
It was blown coverage
Peterson
for
has
them.
6-yard
It
average.
was
like, what
I guess
happened?
I guess it wasn't really everything in the defense. It was the secondary play
Mm-hmm.
that I was very disappointed in because they gave up a long pass to Brandon LaFell and it was just blown coverage
Yeah,
the
I
entire
saw
way.
And I think the Panthers are a little better than people think. I mean, Cam Newton.
Even though the record probably doesn't show. it.
Yeah.
The Panthers this whole season, they've just been underperforming, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their defense is stacked. They have Kuechly now, linebacker.
He's
That's
going to be a
Great
star.
player.
The thing
He's
is,
gonna be a
they've
star.
just been having issues with their defense where they have guys that were supposed to be like really key guys, and then they end up getting hurt or something like that. Like John Beeson.
Mhm.
Oh,
They ended up
yeah.
just throwing him away for a draft
I think
pick.
yeah,
I
didn't
get
they
that.
get him to the Giants?
Yep, they
Yeah.
gave him to the Giants like a late pick.
Oh,
So he must not be happy.
Yeah, he's probably not happy.
He,
right
He'd
now.
rather
I don't think he has much problem with it, actually, because he has an opportunity to compete for the starting middle linebacker job in New York, whereas in Carolina, they were actually starting the former starting linebacker from New York over him.
Okay.
So it's an opportunity thing. I mean, it's not nice to lose. I think he used to be a captain with Carolina, actually.
Yeah,
He was the middle linebacker. He was their
captain.
leader on the defense.
And then basically those injuries just derailed him.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
so Josh and James, your surprises of the week.
Mine is actually how good the Jaguars fared against Denver. They still lost by 2 touchdowns, but they were 28-point underdogs.
27-point underdog.
Yes.
Yeah, and they only lost by what?
16.
16?
Yeah, and it was 14-12 going to halftime.
Yeah, no, the Jags were in it. So hats off to the
And
Jaguars.
believe it or not, Denver got booed off the field.
Nice. But
Yeah, because in the
that-
second quarter they gave up 12 unanswered.
Yeah.
But is that more to Denver underestimating the Jags or the Jags? Just
Oh, I'm sure they underestimated.
You have to think they overlooked the Jags
Mhm.
because they have the Colts this week, huge
Yeah.
game, so they definitely.
Yeah, and basically,
And-
right now you can kind of afford to overlook the Jags to an extent.
Right.
You can still win.
And what we saw out of that game too is the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and offense really showed what's the weakness for Denver. So now it gets these other teams that are facing Denver down the road looking into that tape.
Because Peyton threw his second interception, right?
And it was returned too.
And basically this came down to stuff that we had seen before. If you can exploit that Denver passing defense has holes.
Mhm.
They can be exploited.
They're not unbeatable.
Champ Bailey's side.
So,
Yeah.
Josh, you're surprised as we.
I'm surprised. There's a lot of surprises.
Pick one because everyone else picked one, and then we'll pick
And there are-
one
there-
to talk
there were-
about for
like,
3
You
months.
didn't with this past week.
Whichever one you
Some
don't pick, I'll pick.
outcomes you
Promise.
thought you knew it was going to happen, but the way it did
Yeah.
was kind of strange.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely.
so Josh's pick.
Oh, how the Texans have fallen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not
man.
the one I was going to pick, but it's okay.
Where are you going?
I have
Go
a
ahead,
few
go
more
ahead,
I'll
go
talk
ahead.
about.
Really? Come on. Which one? What was the other one I was going to say? You got it?
I don't know for sure. I know a few I want to
Come on.
bring up, but
Just
bring up
talk
yours
about-
first.
You can bring up multiple.
No, we'll talk about
yours.
yours first, and then I'll bring up the most.
Oh, talking about the
special.
Texans and Rams?
Yes.
It was
Because we
pitiful.
talked about the other
Just
one.
completely pitiful. I mean, it wasn't even. I mean, Bradford just had an efficient game. Who is Stacy?
Zach Stacy.
He's their running back. No.
Daryl Richardson.
Never heard of that person in my life.
Well, now you
Never,
have.
Well, now you
never,
have.
never heard of that person. Foster had a really good game too. It's just Schaub didn't throw a pick six in this game.
He got injured.
He got injured.
He got injured.
They cheered
And
him
then
off
they
the field,
cheered
which is
him
terrible.
getting injured.
It's terrible.
And then Yates comes in and throws a pick six.
Yeah.
This-
And then he did
It's a
terrible.
beautiful moment.
So,
Just that's
see, I was going to bring this one up anyway because I thought it really fed in well to what we did last week where we talked about if Schaub should sit. And Schaub sat because of the injury and pretty much what you guys
Case
talked
Keenum
about.
is this week.
Yes, we'll talk about
And
that.
I can't just like call it a fan base. But it's like, stay classy, Houston. Stay classy.
You can't do that. Yeah.
No, and really, we brought this up on our show last night, saying like, just as a NFL fan, this disgusts you.
Yeah.
It's very sickening.
I appreciate how Schaub has handled it though. He at least came out and was just like, it's not okay to boo or to cheer anybody getting injured. He didn't like attack the fans or anything like that.
Right.
And he understood, like, during the whole time when they were, like, burning his jersey and doing all these mocking and stuff, he handled it really well. I mean, he's been a consummate pro during all of it. And it's
At
just,
least in
it's just-
public.
yeah, it's just unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just no place for that in sports whatsoever. Like, as much as you can hate a player on the court or as a person or anything like that, you never can cheer.
Yeah.
For someone
Didn't the
getting
Chiefs
injured.
do that to Matt Castle last
Yes.
year?
I think so.
Yeah. They wanted him
All
off the field.
right, so I'll talk about three. Were you surprised? Just quick yes or no. Were you surprised the Chargers beat the Colts Monday night?
Yeah.
I was. Even though it was in San Diego, I expected a lot more out of Andrew Luck. I had him on my fantasy.
Really,
Well, Phil Rivers having a great
Yeah,
year.
Yeah,
and that
Phil Rivers
too.
had a good
I give San Diego credit for pulling it off at home and pulling it off the way they did. Running game was there all night. Indianapolis could not stop it. That was the bread and butter.
Exactly, and I mean that's kind of where I was going to go because really Indy's offense wasn't on the field very often. Andrew Luck didn't have the chance to
And it
really
was-
be Andrew Luck.
And all the points for San Diego came off long drives. So like 12
They
plays,
really ran the
14
clock.
plays,
Yeah,
15
they really
plays.
ran the clock to their advantage.
Yeah.
Josh, or everybody said surprised, not surprised.
Surprised.
You said surprised.
I was not too surprised.
Not
Here's the thing. I'm getting kind of frustrated at the
we
Chargers.
have a few more to get to.
So it's like, we're great, we're horrible, we're great, we're horrible.
How about those Patriots?
That was a crazy
Oh, that was a
ending.
crazy game.
Is your
Fun to
faith
watch.
restored in the Patriots?
No. No, not.
I think my faith is restored in Tom Brady. He can do it even without receivers you've heard of.
I think
Fair
looking at this game, the Saints defense lost it. I don't think Tom Brady won it.
You can't. No, you can blame it on the Saints' offense. They gave Brady
That
three
too.
chances
You could
at
blame
the end.
just the entire Saints team in general.
You can't give him 3 chances. He's way too good for that.
Yeah. If you're actually going to win that game, you throw it 3rd down and 8. You don't have a design run for Drew Brees. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you think Peyton would call a better
Yeah,
play,
and
but-
he's known as the aggressive type.
Yeah,
And
get that.
he trusts Drew Brees.
They have a good. Yeah, they have a good.
Yeah,
Next,
I
I
was
guess.
I was dumbfounded.
Going from a team that got their first loss, the Saints had their first loss, to the team that had their first win, the Steelers.
I
You're
think.
gonna pick.
I think this.
It was beautiful for me. I was so happy.
I think
Faith
the
restored in the
Steelers.
Steelers.
No. No.
No,
Not
they
a little,
faced
a little,
a Jets
but-
team that's so up and down.
Yeah,
Geno Smith had a great game the week before. This game, it was the old Geno Smith.
Yeah, but
Geno Smith 19 for 34 with 201 yards and no picks.
This week,
Oh,
he had a pick.
Oh, I said no touchdowns. I thought that was picks.
Oh,
Usually
it
they
doesn't
put
show the
picks.
picks on the-
Oh,
He
Well,
had
they
2, I
do.
think.
well,
He had
yeah,
2.
and the first win's
So
usually
two
one of the
picks and a
hardest to
touchdown.
get. So I think the Steelers could build on this.
They faced Baltimore. They're going to have to do a lot of building.
Yeah,
I think the Steelers could take some momentum from it, but I remember, Vic, you brought up last week, you were you were talking about the Jets and how this could be like a confidence sort of game, and like.
Well,
get
that'll be a
fans-
confidence game
and
for the Steelers because I mean they finally get their first
and then my
win.
response then is the same as is now, but it's against the Jets.
It's still a win.
And it's too bad that the
Wins
Jets
the win.
couldn't win this game
the same-
because they face New England this coming week.
In the same logic that the Eagles whopping the Buccaneers gives us confidence.
A
Okay,
win's a
not
win.
really.
What do you
I
have
didn't
to-
say give them a touch of
you have the
confidence.
Steelers
It's just a
over
win.
under 8-8,
Over and under.
Yeah, I say
I
under.
say
I think 6 and
Definitely
10.
under.
I could see 6 and
6
10.
and 10.
Maybe 5 and 11, depending on their schedule.
Yeah, I'm only going 5 wins. I have to look up their schedule, but we don't
But
have the time
considering-
for that. So
considering
that's
all
our
their
final
division
game.
opponents are
How
strong.
about the final game I want to talk about? How about those Giants? How are those Giants
Almost.
It's ugly
Pulled
at this
it
point.
off.
It's really
Eli
ugly.
Manning is getting near like historically bad numbers.
So they're not near. They are
he's
historical.
getting good like yardage.
Interceptions though.
Interceptions.
I think he has over 10 already.
He's
Yeah,
catching.
over 10.
He almost has, not almost, but his pick numbers reaching his brother's touchdown numbers. It's like that's pretty bad.
That is
I
bad.
don't know if you think back to Peyton's
15
rookie year,
interceptions.
he had like 18 picks his first year.
Yeah, but since then, I don't know.
He's got 15 picks already.
Yep.
That's a
He is
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Giants get their first win this weekend against the
Who do they play?
Vikings.
Really.
Oh
Vikings.
yeah, against the Vikings. Here's the thing.
No, Josh Freeman.
Go
Go on, sorry.
no. You know what gave me confidence in the the Giants game? Jacobs actually ran the ball.
Very
They
well.
actually gave him the ball, and he actually was able to run.
And they signed Peyton Hillis. Did you hear that?
No, I did not hear
Said
that.
Peyton Hillis and Brandon Jacobs.
Because they need another running back to
Who's a bulldozer.
like who bulldozes and fumbles.
He was on the cover of Madden. That counts for anything.
Madden curse.
Madden curse. I am a believer in the Madden curse.
Are you?
Rogers, don't be a
It happens like
Curses happen.
Keep Rogers off of it.
Yeah.
Curses happens.
They put McNabb on there.
So we looked at the scores. How about the rookies and quasi-rookie in Oakland that we keep following?
Throw.
Were you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get to eat crow this week.
Yeah. That's fun, isn't
Yeah,
it?
see what I mean about how I don't believe in
ticked,
Pryor?
So, who impressed you? Who didn't impress you? Out of the rookies we've been following, for James's benefit, we've been watching E.J. Manuel,
He's
Geno
out.
Smith, and Terrell Pryor.
I was
Both up and down.
disappointed with all of them.
Mhm.
Well,
And we've
two of them this
also
week.
we've added a few rookies, so to speak, because we're following who's in Cleveland now.
Well, it's Whedon now.
Well, who
Well,
was
Hoyer
in
was.
Hoyer,
He's
but he
out.
got hurt, so he's out for
So
the
now
year.
he's out.
And then,
Tool, I guess you
yeah.
could say.
And
Tool.
now, I'm assuming we're going to talk about it, but we haven't talked about it yet, so I'm not going to spoil it.
Just bring it up and I'll tell you.
Keenum.
Yep. We're talking about him.
I was trying not to spoil it, because
It's
I
okay.
always spoil.
But yeah,
Now we're
pretty
talking
much I
about
was
the rookies, and then after our break, we'll talk about quarterback situations. So right now, it's just kind of a brief overview of what happened last week. Any rookies or first-year rookies?
Pretty much, you got to be disappointed in them all. The Bills kept it close against the Bengals, just losing in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Pryor, man, what did he get sacked? 10 times?
yes.
Which was awesome for me because I started the Chiefs defense on my fantasy team. It was awesome and horrible at the same time.
If you think Terrell Pryor is legit, you wouldn't have started the Chiefs defense.
No. Nah. Here's the thing, though. I took one positive thing from his game. One.
Okay.
After the game, he put all the blame on himself. All of it.
Huh.
That is the one positive I take from it. Because that's what a starting quarterback does.
Tough place to
Yeah.
play.
Even though he did say that, I don't put it on him. I put it on his line.
No, it's not. Well, obviously, it's not all on him.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
never completely
I know.
on the quarterback
Yeah,
unless
I know.
you're Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Well,
That's
it's not all the time.
But
Only Eli Manning in the fourth quarter, because his QBR in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter this year is 3.
so he's like the new
On average.
he's the new Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Except I think Phil Rivers is still
He's
has a
the
low
new
QBR
Joe
in the fourth
Flacco.
quarter.
Oh, yeah. But the quarterbacks that want to be great put that on themselves.
Especially since they released Matt Flynn. He's
And
kind of
he-
solidified
The
that
Bills
starting
now.
He
job
went to the
now.
Bills, yeah,
Yep.
and he's getting another payday that he hasn't earned.
He had that one game with the
Exciting.
Packers. And then-
2 games.
Yeah, 2 games. And then,
And
then
he
they
like
based-
went lights out.
He
and won
broke-
both of them. Or
Yeah, he
lost
like,
one.
tied
won
and
one.
broke a Packers record in that one game, so I guess they paid him big.
You know what? I kind of look at this and just makes me sad. So I'm going to school now. Okay, I'm paying a lot of money to be here. The government's paying a lot of money for me to be here. I'm going to pay them. But effectively, my career earnings are going to be less than Matt Flynn has been paid in his career to do nothing.
Doesn't that make you
Really?
feel so special?
No, it makes me angry.
It makes our lives seem like
It makes me sad at the system.
Is there anything else you guys want to bring up about the rookies, quasi-rookies we've been kind of keeping our eye on before we...
I was expecting a lot more out of Geno Smith after his great game against Atlanta, but
Alright.
He's inconsistent.
yeah,
The
he's
Steelers' defense clamped down at least in this game.
So we're going to
First
take a quick break and then come back and talk about
That's really
quarterback
sad.
situations. And I think we'll just skip ahead to a look at next week, too. So you're listening to Make Your Point here on 91.1 KAOR Radio.
yeah, just
Oh yeah,
So,
the
yeah,
Chiefs
we're
play
skipping-
Houston this week. I'm starting the D.
oh,
Oh
That
yeah,
call.
they play
geez.
Houston.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you got for other?
I think I
You
want
don't
to
have
drop
any
Steve
other
Smith.
teams.
I'm getting ticked off at him, man, because he's just doing nothing.
Oh, yeah,
I
RG.
have-
Steve Smith is really pissed me off, man.
Houston,
some good-
Philadelphia,
I like Matt
Minnesota,
Forte. I have a lot of running
Paying
backs.
attention.
I have a lot of running backs.
Yeah, Victor
Gosh.
Cruz.
Yeah. What?
Houston, Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Cleveland are the 4 teams we're going to talk about.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Quarterback. Cleveland. Why Cleveland?
Because Whedon's job was put on Craigslist.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey, why did
Because
they
I
sign
could
up
add
for
I could add another one in there if I could think of it.
Well, you have to think of it in like 15 seconds.
I Texans, Philly, Minnesota, it was Jacksonville.
Who's starting?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
who's a better
Henny.
one, Henny or Gabby?
Oh,
And Justin Blackman's
Yes.
back now, so
Sure.
they're a
Blackman
receiver.
had a
not?
huge
I
game.
saw
He had 2 in a row.
and we're back here on Make Your Point. I'm your host, Victoria Harmony. With me, Josh Earl, Nathan Poole, and James Hagedorn.
Dorn.
Yes.
There you go.
I remembered it. I'm so proud.
Just call him.
Hagedorn. I'm going to call you Thorn all the time, I swear. It's
No,
just like in my
the
head.
Thorn.
The
The
Thorn.
Thorn.
Actually, no.
The
No. Okay,
Thorn.
that would be kind of rude to do it here. But in the basketball games, every time he makes a 3, just yell out Thorn!
Thor. Make a celebration for it.
Good.
Yeah, I'll do
There you
it.
go. Hey, Caitlin will do cartwheels on the sideline.
Yeah, go Thorn. That sounds
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
I need to
Don't
tell
mess with
everybody
the
when our
Thorn.
game is this week, too.
That might be helpful.
Whoops.
So we're going to go to more
Hey,
football
yep.
action. More football action. Quarterback situations. We'll start with Houston, since everyone is so fascinated with Houston. And I'm actually kind of excited about what's going to be happening this week. Schaub is out due to an injury that happened during the game this last weekend. And Case Keenum out of Houston.
Undrafted
will be
rookie.
You know, I-
taking his
Houston.
place.
I have some insight on Keenum. I seen him play live twice. Going to UTEP games. They used to they when they were in Conference USA, and he played for 5 or 6 years with Houston, the college.
5.
Well, he was redshirted and he got another year from injury, so he got
So that'll still be fun.
Yeah, be 5.
Yeah,
He
5,
didn't play
yeah.
redshirt year. Yeah.
But it just seemed like he was there forever, and he put up massive numbers.
Yeah, he had insane numbers. I really thought he should have been looked
There
at
was
more closely
for
than he was.
Heisman. Even he was
Maybe
kind
not
of in
for Heisman.
contention, but then he kind of slid off
Well,
other
because
guys
of the
were
strength of
taking
schedule
over.
that
Yeah.
Houston played.
UTEP beat him.
Yeah.
After they beat Texas Tech, he was a Heisman favorite, but then we
Yeah.
ended that.
Yeah.
But I saw 2 games on ESPN2 with Case Keenum at the helmet. My God, the kid can throw.
He can.
He
There was
has
one
cannon.
game. There was,
He
he has
does. I've
that,
seen him.
and there was one game he had 6 touchdowns.
Yes.
No picks.
Yeah.
He had 5,000 yards twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's an outstanding
guy.
athlete. I don't know how he's going to do in an NFL setting.
Same city though. That's cool.
True. Yeah.
Stayed in
So he
his-
didn't have to travel very far.
But yeah, I really liked how he played in Houston, what I saw of him, and I thought him and Keller out of Boise State.
Ooh.
They both.
Kellen Moore.
Keller.
One more. Yeah.
I think they both should have gotten a lot more hype.
Well,
than they did.
it's small schools with the spread offense. They get criticized because sometimes it doesn't translate. Like the 100% shotgun offenses, they usually get.
Well, kind of.
But
With Kellen
nowadays-
Moore, it was just his size, and it's like, well,
Yeah,
Drew
exactly.
Brees is
Russell
5'11",
Wilson?
and Russell Wilson's 5'10".
But anyways, let's go on with. Do you think Keenum is going to perform this weekend?
How is he going to perform?
Yeah. Do you think he's going
they
to
go
perform?
against-
They go
Kansas
against
City.
Kansas. He's going to have a tough job, but
I think
I think he'll do okay. I think he'll do okay.
Bold predictions?
Go for it.
Okay.
I think he completes 50% of his passes for 150 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks.
Yeah, it's kind of not maybe 150 yards. I'd say maybe over 200.
I am.
But I could see him doing a touchdown and 2 picks though in his first.
I think
ever
230 a
start.
touchdown a pick. I mean, not just average. It's a tough place to start your career.
I'm definitely going to be excited to see him perform
Well, the
because
thing,
I liked him in college.
the thing is, the Chiefs are going to be licking their chops.
Really,
Yeah.
they are.
Added pressure probably.
The good thing is
They're
Foster,
great.
Foster's been playing a little better.
Yeah.
At least,
They just
especially
need-
in this
I
last
know-
week.
I
Need to
know.
hand it off and go.
And
Yeah.
use Tate. Ben Tate.
Yeah, I know they
Great.
gave Arian the rock 23 times last week, but still, give him the ball even more. He's probably going to be your X factor.
Yeah, I
this
mean,
game.
how do you think the Vikings won games? Give it to Peterson.
Peterson.
That's all
I don't know
Bonner.
why he wasn't in there in the fourth quarter.
All
He
right,
brings that
and
spark to him.
Next one, because we're kind of running
Those
out of
are
time on this
lost.
first hour. Next one, Philadelphia Eagles. Vic has said that he cannot play this weekend, so Foles will be starting Sunday.
I'm cool with it. I don't know who we play, actually.
You play the Cowboys.
Yep, Cowboys.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm saying this right here. I think they beat the Cowboys. I
Really?
think Foles. Yeah, I think
Wow.
Foles is performing very well. I think it's only 3rd career start.
No,
Maybe
it's more
even
than that.
maybe
More than
maybe
that.
more
He
than
started
that.
several games last
Yeah.
year.
But with the question of who I think is the better QB to win games, I think Vic. for that offense that Chip Kelly's trying to incorporate, it's definitely big.
Yeah.
But I just think Foles, I mean, he was pretty impressive against the rather weak Buccaneers defense, generally speaking. I mean, the Buccaneers got these big guys in the offseason, like going out and getting Revis, Goldson. Yeah. They haven't really
performed
meshed together.
It's been bad with Shiano. They don't really.
Well, yeah, they're
not
just dysfunctional.
They're really not
now.
even playing for him.
Yeah, they don't like him.
Well, I wouldn't play for him. It's a dysfunctional situation right now for the Buccaneers,
especially the whole thing with Freeman.
So I don't so much get into that one game. I'm not so impressed by that one game. I look at track record. Foles' win-loss in his career is bad, really bad. So I mean, and the Cowboys coming off, they won this last week against the Redskins. Got a lot of confidence after the close loss to the Broncos. I think they're going to keep riding that momentum.
Yeah.
I actually think the Eagles get blown out this week.
Really?
I think the Cowboys can win the East. I don't know.
I think they'll win the East by
the way
default.
they're playing right now, I think they could too.
8-8 maybe would do
Giants,
it.
Giants
8-8 will do it.
I think Giants will be bottom feeder this year, which we rarely see that.
They're like 0-5.
This will be interesting.
0-6.
0-6.
I'm interested to see what the Giants will do with their great pick. They don't have many great draft picks that often.
And David Wilson was expected to be their guy this year, and he's fumbled it. Like
maybe they'll go out
already.
and get a running back. That makes sense.
Brandon Jacobs.
I think they need to work on the defense too, though.
Yeah.
Justin Tuck and Jason Pierre-Paul are just
line needs
not.
help.
I heard someone that if they got Clowney, that would be a ridiculous D-line.
Their defensive line doesn't really need. Well, I mean, they might lose one of them to free agency soon because you can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
But offensive line, especially, they need a lot of help.
Yep.
Like if they get like a top 3 pick or something like that, which is looking like is very possible. Maybe trade back and get an early second-round pick and a late first-round pick. Pick up 2 great offensive linemen. I think it's good.
All right, so moving on to team number 3, Minnesota. Freeman is now named the starting quarterback for this
Saw
weekend.
it coming.
Yeah.
I
Good or
really saw
bad?
it coming. This gives them hope.
Yeah.
Really, it does.
like
For the
it.
future, if Freeman performs for you the rest of the season, you sign him to a contract.
I don't know.
He
about that,
can
actually.
be good.
Dude, Minnesota needs something.
Yeah, when
and
you use that,
Freeman
it's
is the best shot
I think
they
they need
got.
to go out and draft one.
Really?
They can do that because Ponder's not their guy.
No,
Ponder's
Ponder
not their guy,
is not the
and they
future.
shouldn't have spent a 12th overall pick on him.
True.
That was.
Years ago.
I think they rushed into that. They
They
just
did.
really wanted
There were
someone.
There were other opportunities.
Not a whole lot great quarterbacks in that draft, but there were other good opportunities that they could have gotten in like the early second round. I mean, you didn't have to get a guy in the 12th.
He was a second-round pick potentially. I think.
Ponder, yeah. Well,
Or late
I think
first
it would have
round.
been late first. I think it would have been late first. I think slot-wise, he was like in the 20s,
Yeah.
generally speaking. And then the Vikings just went up and
Yeah,
snagged
and
him.
like maybe saw something in him. I don't. Yeah, he had ridiculous numbers in Florida State. Really was didn't have a whole lot of interceptions in college.
Well,
It's different in the
well,
NFL.
the thing in the
though.
NFL, his arm strength hasn't quite been there that they need, so he's looked like just a game manager type. But he's not that good. He doesn't make
doesn't
good
make the right
decisions.
reads. Yeah.
He doesn't make good decisions. He tries to throw across his body, which you can't do.
And,
Throwing on the run.
And he also doesn't look at his other
Options.
options.
He looks at his
stares
first-
at one receiver,
Like
and he's
staring.
going,
And
I'm
then the
going there no
safety-
matter what.
And the safeties read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the great QBs have progressions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an order of progressions. I mean, it's fine to have like 2 or 3 receivers that you don't progress to on several
Certain plays,
That's
yeah.
fine, but you should have at least 3 that you're like, okay, he's double covered. I'm not going to him. He's covered, not going to him. Oh, hey, he's open. I'm going to throw it to
My
him.
running
Or
back's
throw it
wide
away.
open under middle. Whoa, there's a
And
double
their
back.
offensive line isn't too bad.
It's not.
No, the Vikings' offensive line has actually been pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost a lot of guys to like age and that kind of stuff, and kind of get rid of them in big contracts, but they filled it pretty well. Khalil is a stud on that left
Oh,
side.
yeah,
I mean, they
definitely.
have a good offensive line.
And what I've seen out of the quarterbacks is just they hold the ball too long because they're so indecisive on where to go. And yeah, your offensive line could be that great offensive line, but they can't hold that pass rush for 5 seconds.
Well,
Yeah.
effectively, all the QBs that the Vikings have had. I mean, Ponder has potential to be an above average NFL quarterback. I can give him that.
Castle could
But
work in the
Castle,
right system.
Castle is average to below average. Ponder is truly average, and they're trying to play him off as these great guys. You can't. They can't. And then they don't even have a whole lot of weapons right now. I mean, they go out and get Greg Jennings.
But really, the passing game's still not there.
Their number one weapon. I mean, as great as Pearson. Okay, Pearson had MVP season last year. Harvin was a huge contributor.
And he was gone.
Get rid of him. Rice, big contributor. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Pretty much every other weapon they had, get rid of him. The only person they really kept was Rudolph, and then
Yeah.
Peterson, obviously. And it just, you can't do that. And then they put all the blame on the quarterback, but the quarterback earned it. The quarterback earned that blame. When you're at a point where you're like, hey, maybe we can just start Joe Webb and win some games, it's a pretty bad situation.
Yeah, he came in the playoffs.
Yeah,
It
he
really
started Joe Webb in the
nothing.
playoffs. He had a horrible game in the playoffs.
They passed
Horrible.
it too much, but
He
I was
didn't
fine.
have much chance there, though, to be fair.
To be fair, but I mean, what was his?
They didn't even rely on
percentage?
Peterson in that game. That didn't make any sense.
No, he
I
had,
think
like,
Peterson
no
had
chance.
almost close to 100 yards. They kept
Yeah.
him under 100. It was like 99
Well,
or
who
something.
did they play?
Packers.
Was it
Packers.
They were completely overmatched. No
Yeah.
chance, really.
With Joe Webb at starting. Yeah.
But yeah, Freeman, I think you gotta start
it's
him.
a hope.
I
It's
think
hope.
you started him
Yeah.
probably the rest of the season unless he like loses like 5 straight.
Yeah, it's a
In
second
which case,
chance for him,
in which
too.
case you give Ponder another chance. But Ponder is still under contract. I mean, it's not like they can just
He'll
get
be
rid of
good
him.
backup to have.
But Freeman, I would rather put my hope into I mean, if you can get Freeman on a decent deal, like a team-friendly deal, fine. Like sign him for like a 3-year team-friendly deal
And see how he
he'll,
does.
if he'll go for it. That I'm cool with. And then if he doesn't work out, okay, he's a backup, or you can trade him to some QB starve team for a mid-round draft pick.
It's kind of a tryout for him. He's
But
trying out again.
if he doesn't perform pretty well and he won't sign for less than like $4 million a year because he could ask for like $5 million a year as a semi-decent quarterback, draft one. If you can't get him on a decent quarterback, if he's going to hamper your salary cap, draft one.
Even though we hate saying that, it's come down to that because they pretty much put all of their sights on Ponder. Didn't work with that.
Do you think
And
there's
this draft, there's several good quarterbacks.
You think there's a
coming out.
franchise quarterback in there? Like Mario?
I think if McCarron is there.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I think. Well, heck, you could
He's
put
efficient.
Or
you
Boyd.
could put any.
Boyd.
You could put any of those ACC and SEC
Not Manuel.
quarterbacks.
Not
Except
Manuel.
Manuel. I can think you could see
Manuel.
all
Manziel.
Manziel. Sorry,
Oh, my bad.
I could see all the
That's like
other
me.
ones.
And
really
Marcus
coming
Mariota for Oregon.
Mariola's really doing good.
He's rising up draft boards right now.
Yeah.
I still,
He's already got
he's
Bridgewater.
rising, but I still think he might be like
we
late
will
first.
get to
Bridgewater
college
might be first
later.
overall.
We will get to college later. Who did the Vikings play is what I was trying to find.
By Giants.
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 Monday night.
Maybe the first one for the Giants, but it's kind of hard to bet on the
All
Giants
right,
one for
so
Minnesota.
I wanted to
I don't
talk
have
about one more quarterback, and this isn't really a situation where he's going to not be starting, but Cleveland Browns lead in Brandon Weeden.
I feel bad for
There
the
was-
Browns.
I feel
There
bad
was
for
an
Weeden.
ad in Craigslist for Brandon Weeden's job
Yeah.
position, and it read as follows, as far as I can tell on ESPN. Have you played pro football? This was posted by a grad student as well. College ball, high school, pee-wee, have you played Madden before? Do you know some of the rules of football? If yes, keep reading, and if no, we'll also keep reading. We will take anyone.
Oh my
Basically,
gosh.
in response to
So you're
Whedon's
pretty much saying you would
performance
take a 2-year-old child.
over
You'll
Brandon
throw less
Weeden.
picks.
I feel Whedon's not that.
I know.
Bad.
I have
He
the
turns-
deals for Whedon. I have
he
the
is-
deals for him.
He can
His turnovers
implode,
are
but
terrible.
we've seen worse. I mean, he has a tendency to implode, but if he's not asked to do too much, with this Browns team, he is asked to do too much. If he's not asked to do too much, he can perform solid.
That was a kind of a risky draft. Well, it was a late first round pick.
Yeah, they got him.
And he's
they
like
got him late
28.
first round. That was the thing. Like they were like, okay, so he's gonna be the franchise quarterback for a while. He's more like a stepping stone, really. When you draft a
Yeah,
guy at 28,
definitely.
even for a quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
quarterbacks have generally longer careers, but still,
Yeah.
it's kind of iffy. And when you put him behind an generally iffy offensive line, he's gonna get hit a lot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
I
work.
feel bad for the Browns that Hoyer came in, then they won 3 in a row,
Yeah.
and then he gets hurt.
I feel really bad for Hoyer.
I
This
compare
was his shot.
This
pretty
was his
much.
shot.
He's
He'll probably-
37.
No,
He's 30. He's 30 something.
Hoyer's
Hoyer
young.
is.
Hoyer?
No, I think he's
I thought he was
30.
young.
He is 28.
Yeah, I thought it was
Wow.
younger.
I was like, wait.
don't
My
don't
bad.
let the bald head fool you, man. He's younger.
He's 28.
Whedon's older.
I compared the Browns this year to almost the Oakland A's Moneyball thing. They when they traded Richardson, it didn't make any sense, and then they won 3 in a row. But now it's
Well, basically, it came down to they could get a first round pick. Awesome.
but it's gonna be a late first round pick. But
Yeah.
I question it. But now it looks like
This coming
Little
draft is relatively deep.
a running back.
Not necessarily running back, just in general.
Yeah.
Because they don't just need to look for running back; they need to look for skill players. That's the thing when you go into a draft. You can have holes or something like that, but it's more like if the best player available is in that spot, awesome.
Yeah.
It's not so much we're going for running backs because like that happened this last draft. I mean, there were so many QB starved teams, but there weren't a whole lot of
Yeah.
grade A starting quarterbacks out there.
Do you think they could package deal their first 2 first round picks to move top 5?
Quite possibly. You know who they could package with? The Giants.
That might actually be
That
good,
would work for everybody.
Then the Browns could get a quarterback.
Then the Browns, depending where the Giants are, if the Giants, okay, this is a big stretch. If the Giants somehow end up with a worse record than the Jaguars, and follow me here.
So far they're tied. With
I mean,
the Jaguars,
if the Jaguars have the first overall pick, they're taking a QB. That's just gonna happen.
Sure.
Probably Bridgewater. Probably.
Because
It depends. We'll see how the
But
politics
if Bridgewater
goes.
slides a little bit, if say the
I still see McCarron going up first.
if the Giants end up with like the 5th pick or something like that, and Bridgewater slides a little bit, the Browns trade their picks up to 5, take Bridgewater.
Really, Teddy Bridgewater top 5?
They're actually saying that Teddy Bridgewater could be the best quarterback this draft that could be ready to go in the NFL.
Huh.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like
too.
as of right now.
I want to see
I
how
don't know,
Lenny.
I don't
This
know.
is all super speculation.
We'll talk more
but,
about
I mean,
Bridgewater in a few minutes because we need to get through NFL.
speculation, but I like speculation.
Brandon Whedon actually has been to note he is, according to ESPN's passer rating and such, he's actually ahead of EJ Manuel, Chad Henne, Jake Locker, Christian Ponder, Josh Freeman, Nick Foles, and Matt Castle and Blaine Gabbert.
So he's the best of the worst.
Wait, in what?
According to ESPN's passer ratings, best passing.
Are you talking the
ratings.
QBR or passer ratings?
Just passer rating? I don't know where to find
It's a really
QBR.
flawed stat.
It's really
Like incredibly
Still,
flawed
I'm
stat.
saying he's still ahead of some other starters, so obviously he's not.
And
as
actually,
good.
when they said we'll
So,
take anyone, they'll even take Josh Earl.
Anyways, we are
I
going
cannot throw.
on.
I'll take you all.
Yes
Try
or
it out.
no were your saved
I don't wanna go to
comments
Cleveland.
regarding the upcoming game with Indy and Denver. Too much. Were either saved comments too much? Yes or no? Don't get into it because we're overtime anyway.
His comments about Manning?
Were they over the line?
He's just trying to fire him up.
What-
Were they on the
what
line?
were they?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what they were. Was it kind of like
He was like, yeah, we made the right move getting rid of Manning and Luck's a better
There were some
quarterback.
tweets. I can pull them up really super quick, maybe. My comments meant if we give Peyton better special teams and defense, we would have won more than one Super Bowl instead of asking Peyton to do too much. It's hard to see how any individual could understand them any other way. But controversy sells, so I understand the games. Let's get something started. Twitter slang. Here we go. But basically, he
Well,
was
that
just
means
all
that
if we would have, or he was referring to the fire sale when they got rid of pretty much the entire team in Indianapolis. Which, fun stat, there's only 8 players on the current roster that actually played a game with Peyton Manning from Indianapolis. All the others never played a game with him. But he was referring to the fire sale, we got rid of him so we could pretty much build from the ground up, etc., etc.
It worked out for both teams.
It did.
yeah.
But
I guess that's
you
fine.
think they were over the line in the comments, basically.
No.
Yeah,
a little.
I don't
Little,
know.
little,
Here's the
yes.
thing.
All right, we're not getting into it. So, because somebody had to talk too much about stats and
My bad. It was
quarterbacks
good
and-
conversation.
Yeah, anyway, so look at this week. What is your game this week? And we can only pick one game again because we're over time. One game to
you
look
can go
for.
first.
Okay, let's see. I mean, I know we just talked about it, but I think Colts Broncos would be a great one. Just with the storylines we're already doing.
I don't want to be biased.
You're gonna pick your game, Mark.
Well, I don't want to, but
They couldn't have picked Packers.
I'm not gonna pick my team because
I didn't want to pick that one. We already know who's going to win.
Even without Jones and Kyle.
But yeah.
It's
I would probably say Houston, Kansas City.
Huh.
See how well Case Keenum does.
Yeah,
if he shows some promise, then they might have a second string quarterback move up, or a third string quarterback move up ahead of Yates. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to see how Keenum plays.
there's several for me to choose from, and I don't want to be biased. So I'll go with Bengals and Lions.
Yeah,
For both teams, this is actually kind of a put up or shut up game.
it may be like a Detroit needs to win this in order to get respect, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Bengals.
Both teams need to win this.
I think
I'm gonna
Bengals.
kind of go the same theory there, but I'm gonna pick Buccaneers Falcons because it's 0-5 versus 1-4. The Falcons need to kind of prove
battle for
they can
life.
The
actually
Falcons
win.
need to prove they're an actual
That-
functioning
That they're
NFL
not
team.
failing again, like they usually fail pretty much every other year.
I don't know. They succeed in the regular season. It's just the playoffs where they fail.
Not last
I
year.
guess.
They still
last 2
failed,
years.
but
The last 2
they were
years.
close.
They did better last year.
Yeah.
So we went a little bit over. We're gonna come back after this quick break with some college football talks. You're listening to Make Your Point here on 91.1 Coyote Radio.
I don't know why, but Bills Dolphins really intrigues me.
Yeah, a little
that's
bit.
terrible.
But I think the Dolphins are going to win pretty
The
good.
Dolphin, I don't know actually, because Manuel. Oh no,
Manuel
no, it's not
doesn't
Manuel.
start.
They're starting Lewis, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know
because
that for a
Manuel's
while.
still injured.
And Tannehill just came off bye week.
Yeah.
That's
so
why.
That's
The-
kind of
the-
why I'm not.
The Dolphins, I wasn't a big believer in to begin with. I was
Yeah, I know. You
just
don't
sick of
believe
hearing about them. No, I believe in some. I believe in some.
Mike Wallace has helped out Tannehill a little bit.
Now that he's not bitching about not getting the ball.
it. Alright, so same thing. Look at scores that last week.
This is
Anything
college,
that
right?
surprised you that you want to bring up?
Just give him
feel
basketball
free.
completely again.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Oh,
only preseason.
We could bring up upsets.
there's cool stuff in the
It's
preseason.
only preseason.
It's cool stuff.
It's only
Like
preseason.
Derrick Rose is back.
I know. He spoke to God, and God said unto him, "You can play basketball now. Go play."
I kind of want to throw this at you. I'm
I
just
kind of
thinking
forgot
of
people
memes.
could hear me say that
I'm
because
just-
I
I'm-
forgot we were just
Sorry, Derrick Rose, if you're listening, get on a
No,
court.
there's only like 3 people.
Derrick
watching.
Rose wouldn't listen to us.
4 people. Oh, we have 4 people watching.
Maybe.
Oh, shit.
I appreciate how we can
Bullshit.
see your Gmail messages over here.
Oh, yeah.
Cutie.
Sometimes that
It looks
happens.
like you got a crush.
It's yeah.
He
shut
loves
up,
you
Shut up.
so much.
Shut up. Shut up.
Is he watching?
I don't think so.
Hey,
There's
Bonnie.
4 people watching, or 3 people. I don't know if it shows me as a watcher or not.
Just see my top of my head.
We've had 5
How many
views.
people have? Oh, 5 views?
We've had
Thanks
5
for watching.
views,
That's more
and
than a
there's-
Jaguars game
There's
gets.
4 current
Oh,
games.
that's
Yeah,
low.
Not just Jaguars.
Maybe
Marlins.
not including.
Marlins
So,
game.
be thinking of college games you guys want to talk about. All
Alright.
FBS.
And it's kind of sad when going to your hometown baseball team's game is kind of like picking a
10
seat in a
seconds.
movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I always wanted to sit in the front row.
Oh, and JoJo agrees. He's like, yeah, it's only 3 seasons. I win. Welcome back here to Make Your Points. I'm your host, Victoria Harmony. With me, Josh Earl, Nathan Poole, and James Hadeforn.
James the Thorn Hagedorn.
Thorn
There you
Hadeforn.
go.
Why
That's-
do you
James
struggle with
the Thorn.
this so much?
I don't know. I have to think about it. I
Like,
think it's
seriously.
because I haven't seen it written down. Usually, I see a name written before I say it, so I'm just kind of like going like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I know what I'm talking about. But we are already kind of short-ish time here on sports. So, surprises that happened in college football last week because, as you know, our format changed. So first hour is all pro, second hour is all college, and we are starting that second hour a little bit late. But we started the first hour late too, so it's okay.
Upset. Utah over Stanford.
That was huge.
That was the
Not
huge.
see that coming.
Yeah. Did not see
27,
it
21.
Yep.
Oof.
Did not see it coming. And really, I did not see Texas beating Oklahoma.
No one did. That was.
And I'm a big Texas fan, too, so I'm like, yeah.
You know what's a great game? One of the greatest in a while was Penn State and Michigan.
Yes.
4 overtimes.
And it seems
I
like
saw
Penn
that.
State
That was
always
awesome.
gives Michigan problems. It seems
Penn
like
State
Michigan
gives everybody
can't
problems.
play.
Penn State's
Penn State's
Doing
just one of those trouble
really.
teams.
Yeah.
Still,
Sleeper teams,
right?
really.
They've been doing really good despite
Yeah.
all what they're
Yeah.
going through.
Mm-hmm.
So
How
Yeah, go
about
for it.
Josh? Did you have any?
Can a USD win count as an upset?
No.
I'm just curious. Okay,
undefeated out.
Don't say the big one. I'll talk about the big one later.
don't know what
Okay.
the big one is.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs and Tigers.
The one you were just gonna say.
Okay, telling me mascots
Oh, yeah.
is just complete. Woo.
I'm sorry.
I don't
You
know.
said- you said we
I'm
did
pretty
some
sure
of
there
the
was another
Bulldogs.
one. I vaguely know Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, we just said that.
Yeah, I
Oh.
said that.
Nate just said that.
Sorry, I was like, I don't know. And then Penn State. Well, okay, so take away my one, and then just
And
leave
Wisconsin
me
beat
with
Northwestern. It was ranked. Wisconsin won 35 to
Northwestern
6.
fallen.
Wow.
I was a little bit surprised on Clemson Boston College. How Clemson really did perform in that first half. Anybody else?
But then Boyd came out second half, and really, when he needed to, he did what he had to.
Still, I was a little
Huge game for
surprised.
Clemson this week. I don't know if we're going to talk about that.
Yes, we'll talk about that
Okay.
definitely because it's just like the NFL. We'll talk about games last week and then games next week.
Oh, okay.
So
It's basically
same
just
thing.
that fourth quarter. That came out
Yeah.
for.
And we already brought up Penn State.
That was all the upsets.
It was pretty
I
much
don't
4
know, I'm
upsets.
going back through all
Washington
of
didn't
them.
perform too well. Like it's against
Yeah,
Oregon.
against Oregon.
I don't,
That's-
the Utah Stanford one to me isn't so surprising.
That one
So it's
right
not
there.
like Utah was bad.
That one. Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Oh,
Texas A&M. How about that 41-38?
Well, Ole Miss
almost pulled it
had
out.
that huge class this year. They got the number one
Bull
prospect.
Wallace,
And it went
actually.
down. Didn't Manziel lead him for a last-minute
Yeah.
touchdown and like the
Johnny
2-minute
football.
mark,
Yeah.
something like that.
And he actually got injured in that game, too,
Oh,
early on.
they kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched it and I was really, really
33
sad.
yarder,
I was
which-
yelling at my television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 34.
33, which in college isn't
It's-
a
yeah,
chip
it's a
shot,
chip.
really.
It's
Well, not in college.
It's a chip shot. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I, if you don't have that great
I've seen
kicker-
college
I've
college
seen-
kickers miss like 25
Yeah.
yarders.
Yeah.
I've seen college kickers from big, well-known schools like Texas A&M make 55 yards.
Is Josh Lambo really good?
He's very
He's a
decent
soccer
kicker.
player.
Yeah.
Very decent kicker.
Pretty much they
he's
put him as a
better than
walk-on.
USD's kicker. So.
Oh, that's
Oh,
low.
that's
Miles
low.
Bergner.
Miles
That's low.
Bergner's actually a good
Hey,
kicker.
I like Bergner.
Yeah, he's actually a good
He's
kicker.
like the one guy each week that actually like doesn't completely fail.
Actually, one of our offensive players got named MVFC.
Trevor Bauma.
Yes.
Yep. Newcomer of the year.
Newcomer of the year.
Newcomer of the week.
And I was gonna make it a tease, but James ruined it. Just
I'm
kidding.
so sorry. I need to stop. I've done that
Hey,
twice.
this is your first
It's
show.
fine.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
We're enjoying
You
it.
kidding me? I spoil so much stuff on this show.
It's true, and he gets yelled at all the time.
It doesn't get muted.
I hold the record for most mutes.
Because you deserve
I
it.
am proud
You
of
do.
this
No,
record.
just kidding.
I
So,
don't deserve them all.
since
She said kidding.
I stopped Josh from spoiling the one we were going to talk about, Missouri and Georgia. We
Was it-
talked about this last week.
Was that the one you were yelling about during the USD game? Or was that another
Yes.
one? Yeah.
Yes, I was trying
Yeah.
to. I wasn't upset about it. I'm just like, hey, look who called it, because I have it on record
And
that
I
called this last
didn't
week.
call that Missouri would win, but I said Missouri would give Georgia a run for their money.
But now their quarterback's out. For
Yeah,
the season,
so that's gonna be-
It's kind of like a one-hit wonder almost.
I can't remember what I called this one. I don't remember.
But
I think
I'm
I
pretty
called
sure
it
you
too
went
close.
with-
Missouri, I think, really
Oh.
has 2 more games that are pretty tough.
Only two. They have a really tough schedule.
I'm surprised. how
Unless
good-
I'm thinking of different schedules.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of a different schedule. Missouri has a tough schedule coming up because now they're getting deep into conference play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised how well A&M and
Oh,
Missouri.
Florida is who they play.
Yeah.
Because they have
Florida-
Florida, South Carolina, who's not a pushover, Tennessee, who's been decent-ish, Ole Miss again with that big class, and then they have Texas A&M.
Yeah, they do.
So
have
they
tough
have a
ones.
tough road.
Yeah. But I'm
And they're
surprised.
playing with the second stringer.
Yeah, I'm surprised how good A&M and Missouri did and are doing in the SEC. Because when they came from the Big 12, a lot of people just said they'll get destroyed.
Annihilated, yeah.
But then, well, Johnny football, of course, was unexpected, but now Missouri is tough.
And Missouri had a down year last year
Yeah,
because Franklin at that point was still injured. But then he started this year, and now their
Yeah,
team's
that's
come
sad.
alive.
Oh, sad that he's injured again.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners wants us to bring up that the hash marks in college are actually wider than they are in
Yeah.
college. So keep that in mind, I guess.
I don't know
I
why.
need a little bit
I
of
don't
context.
either.
Yeah.
I got
Fun
What do
fact.
you mean?
Refresh
We'll
my
see.
memory
I
exactly
don't
what a
know.
hash mark
All he
is.
said was the hash marks are wider. It's like, okay.
Refresh my memory what a hash mark exactly
It's-
is.
In the middle of the
white
field,
marks.
the white
The white
lines.
marks on the field.
Yeah,
In
it's
the
not-
middle
No,
of
I-
the field.
That's fine. I'm just confused why.
It's not a Twitter
They
term.
brought it up. They brought it up.
Yes.
Hashtag
Okay.
is Twitter.
I'll bring it
Yeah.
up. So, something big that happened recently, I think it was announced on Wednesday. As you all know or should know, the bowl system is being eliminated in 2014 and they're going to go to a playoff system. And for that playoff system, there has been a committee named to kind of induct the teams that are going to be participating, vote them in, so to speak. And that committee was actually just released this week. It was based on 5 categories. I watched a short video on it, and then I found the list otherwise. But it was a committee based on previous coaches, student athletes, administrators, athletic directors, and also journalists. So they tried to get a good breakup of people, and the breakdown I saw, 10 of these people played college football, 3 were coaches at the FBS level, 3 are currently in the College Hall of Fame, 2 served at the highest levels of administration, one of them is one of the most decorated sports writers, one is a Rhodes Scholar, one of them started an FBS football conference, he actually created one. There's a former member of Congress, a former Secretary of State. Yeah, there's a retired 3-star general, 2 academic All-Americans, and 3 members of Phi Beta Kappa.
Wow,
Gosh.
highly qualified.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I didn't write this one down, but I think out of the 13, there's 26 different or not different, like 26 combined, what's the word I'm looking for? Like diplomas, graduate degrees.
Oh.
And 8 of them are masters. So, highly intelligent as well. And that breakdown of lists, I will give it to you. Now, it's a lot of talking, I know, people, but we're going to debate if you guys think these guys deserve it. Jeff Long, who is the Vice Chancellor and Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas, is the chair of the board. There's also Barry Alvarez, Director of Athletics at Wisconsin. Lieutenant General Mike Gould, who is the former Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy. Pat Hayden, Director of Athletics at the University of South California. Tom Jernstead, former NCAA Executive Vice President. Oliver Luck, Director of Athletics at West Virginia University. Archie Manning, former Ole Miss quarterback and All-Pro NFL quarterback. Tom Osborne, Director of Athletics at the University of Nebraska. Dan Radakovic, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names, Director of Athletics at Clemson. Condoleezza Rice, former United States Secretary of State. Mike Trentes, former Commissioner of the Big East Conference. Steve Weiberg, former college football reporter for USA Today. And Tyrone Willingham, former head coach at 3 different FBS programs. And that is the breakdown of the list. A decent spread, I think, between players, coaches, athletic directors. I think they focus a little bit too heavily on the directors' point, because most of the ones on there are currently athletic directors at a college somewhere.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about this kind of a breakdown?
I'm very surprised there's only one woman.
I'm not.
Not just there's
Do
only
you
one
think-
woman, but the one woman isn't a football woman or sports-related woman
And
anyway.
why aren't the small conferences represented? They have all these
Because
big
this is the
schools.
NCAA.
You would think that was one of the big points to make a playoff was to get the small conferences involved, and now they're not even represented. But they will have a better chance now.
Well, it's not exactly like we think NCAA and never think hypocrisy. I mean, it's not like one of those things like, oh, hypocrisy in the NCAA? Never.
What?
No, that never happens.
Yeah, I'm not shocked that Tom Osborne or Archie Manning are in there. They're big known names.
Yeah, basically Archie Manning just brings star power to it.
Barry Alvarez too.
But
That's a good
doesn't
one.
Condoleezza Rice bring star power to it in a certain
She
way?
brings star power to it that's not related to football.
Well, she was.
But there was a comment that came out saying, like, I'd rather have a woman that, I think it said, like, cares about football instead of a woman who doesn't watch football. Because Condoleezza Rice does watch
apparently
No,
she's
she
a student
does.
of the game.
She is, and she was actually really interested in becoming the commissioner of the NFL at one point.
Oh, and she's a Stanford alum.
I believe so.
Some Ivy League school. It's Ivy League somehow.
So
But she's
Stanford
very
is
well
an
educated in football. I'm not surprised she's only a woman
They're
because
Pac-12.
a lot of them.
No,
Okay, whatever.
He meant a law
Prestigious.
school. He meant law school.
that's not what I mean by Ivy League. It's Ivy League.
I don't think it's that terrible.
Are you guys looking forward to this playoff system?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to the playoff system. I'm a little skeptical of the people they've picked at this point. But the system as a whole, I'm really looking forward to the implementation.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not going to be very, I guess, happy if all we see in there are the same teams. every
Yeah.
single
If
year.
it's like 3 SEC teams.
Yeah,
and,
because it's like we already
one
know
Pac-12.
SEC's dominant. ACC teams will probably be in there. Pac-12 teams will
Yeah,
probably be in there.
it's the Mountain
you
West
don't
teams
you
or-
don't look at Mountain West or Conference USA or Big East. You
Well,
don't look
they're-
at any of those,
they're-
and
they're
then
getting-
it's not worth it.
They're getting a playoff system, but it's a pretty relatively small,
Yeah.
compact play. It's not
Yeah.
like in the It's not like in basketball where you have like 64 and before that like 128 teams like invited to this giant
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
It's a relatively compact thing, so I think it's not going to change as much. The thing that's going to change is like we might end up with different matchups like later on because you'll end up with a few upsets in the ranks of the playoffs.
And you might actually see an SEC team against an ACC team instead of an SEC.
Yeah,
SEC.
instead of having like these Alabama LSU
Oh,
balls, like what they keep having.
And I think they're gonna have a numbering system too, right?
1-4.
Right.
One
ranked
through. I
or
think
something?
they're having 8 teams in this playoff.
No,
bracket?
it's 4.
Or is it
to
4?
start. They might
Okay.
expand later on.
Yeah,
Right now
it's
4.
really small.
So it's kind
Ridiculous.
of like your 4 main teams. 2 are battling each other, and then they'll meet for the national
Yeah,
championship.
which is kind of good because when you go
Top
into the
4
rankings, that kind of
teams.
stuff, like you have a number like some years there's not a whole lot separating a number 1 from a number 4.
And pretty much it's probably going to be
And
looking
this-
at the top 4 teams, but then if
one of those teams lost and the other team below
And I
them is
have those
undefeated.
notes,
they
too.
move
Just a
them
quick
up.
note, though, one of our listeners said Condoleezza Rice's father was a football coach as well, so she has.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, being around the game.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And according to ESPN, besides picking the 4 teams for the college football playoff, the selection committee will be responsible for ranking and placing at-large teams in the non-contract New Year's Day bowls. So they're keeping the 3 main bowls, I guess.
Okay, that's
the
cool.
Cotton Fiesta and Chick-fil-A Bowl.
That's good.
The committee also must select the highest-ranked champion from the non-Power 5 leagues, which include the American, Conference USA, Mid-American, Mountain West, and Sun Belt, which will receive an automatic bid to one of the 6 bowls associated with the college football playoff.
All right.
So,
Okay.
So trying to get some of the smaller conferences.
they're just trying to round it out better. And I'm going to link the list of the committee onto our Facebook page for anybody listening and is curious to look more in depth into it. So that'll be available to you.
I'm glad that they're trying to shoot for a little more parity.
Yeah.
On the plus side, because in the college system, there's not.
I bet
parity.
Fresno State wishes was this year because Fresno State's undefeated, but no one. If they went out, they're not going to be in the national champion. A 2-loss SEC team will probably be put ahead of them, which sucks because
wasn't like several years ago there was a Boise State, was it?
yeah,
Was
Boise,
going undefeated and because they
TCU's
And
been
they were
snubbed.
put in like the Cotton Bowl or something like that. That
well,
was the highest they went.
yeah, after Boise beat Oklahoma, when was that? 05, 06?
it was a ways back. Sorry, that's
Statue
what I
but yeah,
remember.
that's what got the small teams back on the map, and it showed that they could play with the big dogs. But
If you can build your team the right way, basically.
Boise's done a great job with that, and TCU also. But TCU's moving up.
Yeah, Boise was really good, like taking kind of like people that weren't like superstars and that kind of stuff, but putting people into roles.
Mhm.
And their roles, I think, was it Kellen Moore
Kellen Moore.
at that time? He wasn't gonna be a superstar or anything like that, but just putting them into the role, doing what you can do.
Definitely. And in his 4 years, I think they had. His 4 years at quarterback in Boise State, I think they had 3 losses. And he never once went to a big game. He never once got the chance to go to a big bowl. And I think that's so not fair because I think he's really one of the better college quarterbacks and definitely one of the best from Boise
And
State.
the sad thing, that was the highest he could really look forward to because his style wasn't suited for the NFL at all.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him.
So
get somewhere
his
in the
big
NFL. That'd be
chance
awesome.
was.
And all he got was like the Las Vegas Bowl. But
And really, you don't really see a lot of left-handed throwers
Right.
anymore.
No.
Well,
Vic
it's
is one.
different,
Vic,
But who
if you're-
else? I don't think there is
it's just
the
anybody.
number's going down.
Well, technically speaking, in the world, it's 11% of people are left-handed. It's
Right.
not.
Yeah.
It's a general minority.
But of the 13 members, they boast a combined 230 years of experience in college football, so we'll be looking forward to that this upcoming, not this year because this year's still bowl season, but next year is
Computers.
how it will happen. Yeah, so we're going to take
those
a
rankings.
quick break, have a few short stories, hit all of our fun Savannah State Corner USD action, and get back with some more Make Your Point. You're listening here on 91.1 KAOR Radio.
Explain something for me.
We do Savannah State Corner every week, just so you're aware. Just randomly.
It's probably one of our
games.
most boring segments.
It's
of our show.
not.
Why can I find Savannah State easily on the ESPN page, but not USD?
Did you
Because
put in University of South Dakota?
Yes. All I can find
we're
is the
FCS.
volleyball
South
team.
Dakota Coyotes?
I find you go to NCAA and then you go through the FCS. I always go through the Missouri Valley Conference.
It's
Yeah.
just a
South
pain,
Dakota
but
Coyotes.
it's so hard to get to
But we
the
have
USD page.
there's a Savannah
Yeah.
State section.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savannah State's an FCS
did
school.
they seriously lose last
Yeah,
week?
they lost
To
again.
A&M by
They lost
13.
again.
What's the background?
About Oregon,
They're 1 and
basically.
6.
What's the background of this segment?
Because Savannah State was a team that got like blown out by Oklahoma State.
Because
We
they're
felt
a
bad
leader
for
of
them.
team,
and I had faith in them.
And he always brought them out. At least they're not a Savannah State. We're going to do Savannah State every week now.
That's
So,
interesting. That is very interesting.
It is. So we're kind of like
That's
the
really
second
bad.
almost
That's
Savannah
really
State.
bad.
Bethune
football.
Cookman next up.
The fan cook. Yeah.
Welcome back here to Make Your Points. I'm Victoria Harmony. With me, Josh Earl, Nathan Poole, and James Hagedorn.
Yes!
There you go.
Finally!
Did-
After
did-
an hour and a
did the
half.
text help
looking
you?
at it, looking at it
The
helped.
text did it. Yeah.
Looking at the name definitely helped. So we're going to cover a few quick stories before we get to our regular segments because we have regular segments on the show because we're boss like that. So, quick stories. Oregon's uniform change. This weekend, they are wearing pink helmets to support breast cancer, and I have that pulled up. Can you guys see the image?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, those are Oregon always.
That's snazzy.
Yeah, they always do well with their uniform.
Yeah, can you see the little picture?
Yeah, because it's in Oregon. So
Yeah.
Right. So they're just changing their helmet colors because obviously for a college program to change their entire uniforms like the NFL does, sometimes they don't.
Certain
have those-
parts of their clothes.
Yeah, they don't.
They
don't
change
have
their
the certain
accessories.
ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Oregon changes every week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they actually do.
They change
Never
their
wear the same one
accessories.
twice.
But obviously they don't have the funds for that. But they will be wearing the pink accessories as well as the pink helmets to support breast cancer against their Washington State game. It's home game this Saturday. So good, bad.
Well, that's good.
Awesome.
Oh, it's a good cause.
Yeah.
Anything that is looking for research of trying to prevent breast cancer, always good cause.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing.
The helmets helps to raise money for the KAOR Cancer Fund, a charity that has raised $2.6 million for the benefit. And the 25 helmets will be auctioned off over the course of the week, beginning on Saturday after that game to raise
That's a good
money.
idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea too.
Yeah, people will buy those.
Looking at that picture, it seems like their uniform's like all black.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the black uniforms and then they have the white ones. And they have the wings.
Okay, so is there a hint of green in those uniforms, or
The
no?
names, and then the embossing on the letters is the
Gotcha.
names.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I haven't looked too closely at them. I'm not big.
The uniform
so,
aficionado.
yeah, it's just like, oh, they have pretty pink helmets. Yay. So that was one story. What was the next one? Grambling States that walked out on practice. How about
Oh
this?
boy, what happened here?
Grambling State, I think I brought this up earlier in one of our shows. Grambling State fired their coach after the first two games because he lost the first two games, essentially. I don't think it was all the coach's fault, but essentially they fired the coach for that reason. And according to the local paper in Grambling State, on Wednesday the entire team just did not go to practice. They boycotted practice. So a bad situation is getting worse for Grambling State. Do you think the team's going about this the right way? Because from what I can tell, the team went to administration discussing, what was it? They discussed the future success of the program and how the coach was fired after the first two games. So do you think the team is really handling this in the correct way by just boycotting practice, boycotting this new coach and this new system?
I don't know about the boycott. I understand why they're upset. 2 games, that's a quick decision.
Yeah. And yeah, maybe they went a little bit too far to boycott practice. I'm okay with them. Well, I guess they're kind of just.
I'm okay with them being upset about it.
Yeah, I'm okay with them being upset about it, but to go as far as not showing up at all to practice, it's a little bit far.
Right.
But yeah, I do have the concern of, well, why you fired the coach after 2 games?
Well,
Yeah, unless he
Grambling-
lost them really big.
Grambling State was 1-10 last season, and in the first 2 games they lost a combined score. They don't have both scores separate. They lost a combined score of 71-19,
Must have been a
the
player-friendly
first
coach then. Because what else
Mm-hmm.
what do they have going for them?
and they are currently 0-7. So
Oh, gosh.
Well, we'll pretty much give up on the season.
yeah, pretty much. But I thought it was kind of an interesting blurb, but I wanted to bring up, the whole should players boycott? Should it really be on the players' heads? And if that does happen, what should the
I
administration
mean,
do to do anything?
if they feel like some major issue needs to be redressed, then fine. That being said, I mean, this is kind of outside of their control. There's not a whole lot that even them boycotting's going to do about it. So I don't really see a whole lot of point in it. Because the only ones they're really punishing is themselves. At this point, it takes away their reps, takes away their opportunities.
And it's going to result in just a bigger blowout.
Yeah,
On
and if you
Saturday.
love the game, then you might as well play and accept change.
I mean, that,
Well, they're playing a conference game this weekend, I believe, and the team they're playing is undefeated in the conference anyways. So
but still, it comes down to pride. It comes down to pride and love of the game, really. And I mean, part of that is, like, even when you don't agree with things that are going on around you, if you truly care about the game, you show it enough respect to...
And you're there for a
Keep
reason, too.
working.
Some of these players have probably got scholarships. And they're
Yeah.
going there to play football. And now you're boycotting practice because you don't want to play it anymore. And that's kind of sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
all right, how about Ohio State?
What
Ohio
about 'em?
State is
Keep
on
on.
a 8-game
18 games.
18-game winning streak. Do you think they have what it takes to catch up to, I think it's Oklahoma State? I mean, they're still a long ways from Oklahoma State, but do you think they have what it takes to keep on winning, at least throughout the season?
I think
I'll pull up those
They can win out the regular season.
I think they can. They face Iowa. Iowa's not a bad team to play against. Iowa always brings their best
Are they
team.
playing? Penn State's tricky. Is that at Penn State or is that a home game?
It's a home game.
Okay, because at Penn State, I could have them losing.
Fun fact: they don't play a ranked opponent for the rest of the year.
Michigan is their
This is
closest
true.
one.
Penn State and Michigan will give them the toughest test.
Yeah, I mean they'll get tested, and I think what is the record? You're talking like consecutive games won.
Oh, they're not even close. They have to go through at least
Yeah,
one other
Oklahoma
season.
has
Oklahoma State has
Oh,
a...
I don't think they get to that point.
Yeah.
That being said, like I'm a little
Just Oklahoma.
iffy on their quarterback situation, especially right now.
I don't know.
Well,
I still
they have
have faith
two
in
guys
Jackson
who
Miller.
have put in
I still have
numbers.
faith in Miller. I do.
Guyton and
I have
Miller.
faith in Miller, but with injury issues, I'm a little worried.
But Guyton can do fine. He's been
Yeah.
Yeah,
stepping up.
I'm worried about his draft stock getting hit by injuries, but
But no, the record for Josh's benefit. Oklahoma has the record at 47 consecutive victories.
I don't think they get to that.
No.
I don't think they do. Yeah.
Because that's insane.
Sooner or later, they're gonna
Like,
fall.
Not with how competitive
Big
college,
Ten is.
the Big Ten, and even playing SEC schools every once in a while. How competitive the NCAA as a whole has gotten.
With a win this weekend, they'll tie the school's record, I believe, at 19, because they had 19 in 2002. Oh, they had
Yeah.
22 in 1968, my bad. So
I'm
they'll tie
glad
the
that
second.
Urban Meyer has changed that program since Jim Tressel
picked
left
it
and
up.
all his other sanctions that happened. Kudos to him, but sooner or later, I think they're going to fall. They could even fall this year.
Well, do you think an undefeated Ohio State team gets into the championship game over a one-loss SEC?
It'll-
I don't know if they would.
I don't know.
It would be a toss-up.
It would be a
Same for
toss-up,
Louisville.
but
It
you
depends.
can't,
It
you
depends
can't
on the
overlook
loss
them.
of the
though.
SEC team.
And
Depends on
yeah,
how
and you can't overlook them either.
What
You
is
can't overlook
Ohio
Ohio
State
State because they are in a tough conference too. Big Ten's no slack conference.
Yeah, if Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State are all undefeated at the end, I don't know if Ohio
I
State
don't
will
think
make it
Ohio
there.
State gets in there. I think if they're all undefeated, then yeah. But if
Well, I
like two
could-
of those teams end up getting a loss at some point and it's against weaker opponents, then yeah.
I can
Ohio State
disagree
wins.
though because Oregon really doesn't have a tough schedule. They play three teams this season that give them problems.
I think one loss would hurt
Washington,
them.
they blew out of the water, and then they play UCLA and Stanford. If they lose to one of those and
Stanford's
and
tough.
Ohio State goes undefeated, Ohio State jumps up.
I
at
think
number
one
two.
loss for Oregon would hurt them much more
Yeah.
than one loss for Bama.
Yeah.
Because Bama's loved by
Yeah,
everyone in the
Bama's strength of schedule is so ridiculous. They have like one of the worst strength of schedules at all this season.
Well, it's just because the SEC itself is strong enough to. What?
No.
Why are they not playing? I think this year they aren't playing some of the tougher SEC teams.
well, because they wouldn't play Georgia until
yeah,
that championship game. Georgia's there, but Georgia has a good shot of not being there this year.
I had this pulled up on my computer, but I forgot to put it up here.
But like I was saying, with Ohio State, if they go undefeated and Oregon loses against UCLA or Stanford, Ohio State moves.
what
on.
about Louisville? What if they're undefeated? They
Same
might
thing
even
with
have a
them.
weaker schedule.
Same thing with them. They got a weak schedule. I
Yes.
think Ohio State has a tougher one. I'm sorry to say this, but I think they do.
Yeah, they do. Big Ten
Okay,
is
so
over
wait who, and I will tell you what they're ranked according to FBSschedules.com.
Okay.
So who are you asking about? Alabama is ranked 40 out
Oh,
of
wow.
126. Okay? Because this is all FBS school.
Okay.
So what was the other team you were asking about?
Ohio State.
See if I can put it together. They are 67.
What about Louisville?
Louisville.
Louisville is
Ooh.
98.
Yeah.
Told you.
They're not
Told
going.
ya.
They're not going.
Louisville can go 12-0. They will. I don't think they'll get in the championship.
They won't.
Their strength of schedule is too low.
98.
Ohio
Yes.
State has a better. Or try Oregon.
Oregon, I'm pretty sure they're pretty low.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want a fun fact about Louisville?
Oregon's 58.
Who's number one? Just out of curiosity.
Number 1 is actually Florida.
Oh wow.
Well,
And number 126 is Old Dominion.
want a fun fact about Louisville?
Sure.
Now, this may be including teams
Well, I wanted
that
to ask a
dropped.
question about Louisville.
This may be including teams that dropped out of it. Actually, I don't think any of these were ranked before they lost to Louisville. Louisville in their season did not play a single ranked opponent.
And they probably won.
And that was something I forgot to ask this earlier, but I know last week we talked about Teddy Bridgewater and how he had, was it 30 scouts come to look at him during the game against Rutgers last week?
You were talking about there was double-digit scouts going to be there.
I believe it was 30. It was between 27 and 30.
I think it was 30. Yeah.
But
They only scored 24 points.
He didn't have a great game.
And I was going to say,
he was okay.
were you impressed by his performance against Rutgers?
Impressed by his performance? Not really. I was impressed by their defense's performance.
I don't know if I have him as high as you guys. He's going to be a good quarterback, but once again, the strengths of the schedule right there.
There's just been a ton of hype behind him.
Yeah,
basically.
I think Taj Boyd's
pretty much
Taj
he
Boyd
went.
and Mariota.
Like,
Yeah,
he may not be deserving of the number 1 overall pick, but there's been talk about him being number 1 overall pick for a while, especially after Clowney's stock dropped.
Yeah. I think he'll be solid though in the NFL.
And
I think
Bridgewater
he'll be a solid starter.
came out into the scene last year.
Yeah.
And they just had the hype on the
I
kid
think
ever since.
Top top 10, no question.
Yeah.
But number 1 overall,
That's a risk.
It's a little
It depends
tricky.
who's drafting.
I'd love to see him get drafted like 5th or something like that.
That's fair.
I'd love to see
Fair
him
enough.
there.
To see if, well, I guess I don't want to say this, but like the Giants, if they're at number 5, or like you said, your scenario
I
with
don't want the
Cleveland,
Giants to take him because that basically is giving up on Manning.
it'd just be a solid quarterback when Manning can't go.
I don't think
anymore.
I think it's a little too soon.
Not when you have a borderline elite. Yes, he's been off this season, but when he's on, Manning is borderline elite,
Yeah. So
especially
maybe
with his postseason
too soon.
resume.
Too soon to spend a first rounder on a quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean if they can get a stowaway in like the 3rd round, like a lot of teams do, like in New England, Mallet.
That's what Philly did too, right? With Foles.
Foles was I think a 2nd rounder.
Yeah.
A lot of teams have been grabbing these
kind of with Matt
3rd,
Barkley.
4th round guys.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, we're
Matt
doing it with
Barkley.
Barkley now. There's a team in the Florida area, but I can't remember what team it is. They you pick a guy in the 3rd round who's like an average kind of guy in quarterback in
Tampa
college, who's a
Glennon. Mike Glennon.
That's
Yeah.
what. And then you kind of stow him away for a little bit, and then if necessary, you stick him out there.
Well, yeah, it can happen.
Mhm.
That's what the Packers kept trying to do with their backups.
That's what I'd like to see the Giants do because they don't really have a backup quarterback system. Their
I think they got
backup
David
is
Carr. Yeah.
You do not want David Carr starting a
His
game.
brother's doing good at Fresno. Side
So,
point. Derek
let's
Carr.
get off of NFL. Another fun fact to add there, out of the top, I didn't go through the entire top 10, but I had to get to number 6 in the ranked for the college football to get to a team that has a strength of schedule in the top 20. I had to go all the way to number 6. Nobody else was. The highest before number 6 was 40, and that was Alabama. Number 6 is LSU, and they have a 16th ranked strength of schedule.
LSU's consistent.
And they're 6-1.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
they're 6-1, and their one loss was against
Georgia.
number 9 Georgia.
Okay,
so
they-
it was barely.
they
Also,
do
it's
play
that
Alabama.
strength of schedule list as well,
Yeah,
so people that are
huge. And
interested
Texas
can
A&M.
read that.
So if they run the table somehow, they're in.
that's ugly. They don't just play Alabama and A&M; they play back to back
And at Alabama.
at Alabama.
Yeah,
at least
they
they
have a
play
tough
A&M at
schedule.
home. At least they got that.
Yeah.
But moving on, let's see if we can get off this, and we can talk a lot about USD and Savannah State. So, a look at this week. Who are you looking forward to watching?
Of course, Florida State Clemson.
Huge.
That's the biggest game this week. But I also am looking forward to Iowa and Ohio State. I want to see how Iowa comes out after
You have
a
an upset
devastating
pick
loss
there?
against Michigan State.
Oh,
Or
so
with-
you have Iowa.
I could say Iowa keeps it close, but I don't think they win. I just want to see how Iowa performs after a devastating loss to Michigan State.
Texas Tech, West Virginia. That not much defense, but that's gonna be fun to watch. I could get in the 50s. Tech is undefeated.
Also, UCLA at Stanford.
How about Florida and Missouri?
That's
that
well,
one-
I don't know how Missouri's gonna do now with
Yeah.
backup quarterback.
Let's see.
But it could be good.
I'm not sure what game hasn't been picked at this point.
Just throw it out there. Just throw it out there.
So the Iowa and Ohio State one, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. How about LSU Ole Miss? Might be
Where?
interesting-ish. Way down. I'm like 3/4 of the way down now.
Oh, there it is.
That's another good game to watch.
USD Notre Dame, that should be a decent game.
Yeah, the rivalry game with USC and Notre
But
Dame.
between FSU and
Yeah.
Clemson, since that's obviously going to be the highlight, I've already seen so many things on ESPN, I don't see them usually highlight on a game like this. But who are you picking to win between FSU and Clemson?
Both in Clemson.
Jameis Winston and
Well,
Florida State.
hoping, but who are you expecting to win?
Clemson.
Clemson.
And I get Clemson.
I would hope
Sorry, I wanted to
Clemson.
talk about another one.
I would hope Clemson wins, but I think Florida State wins.
You know what I think is going to be an interesting game? UCF and Louisville.
Central Florida.
Yeah.
4-1
UCF
this
is
year.
4-1, 1-0 in their division. Their one loss was against number 12 South Carolina by 3 points.
Yeah, when they're in conference, I don't think they're in Conference USA anymore, but they were always up at the top. Central Florida is not.
A slack team.
And
anymore.
their only win that was like really close was against Penn State. Penn State's been better than it was after the whole scandal. And honestly, I think this could be a game, especially with Bridgewater not being so great this year. This is a statement game for Bridgewater.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see UCF kind of bottling him up.
I could see them winning that. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I can contribute in college.
I'm so
Oh my
proud
gosh!
of you. I'm so proud of you. Everybody picked FSU and Clemson, yes?
Yep.
Pretty much all of mine were.
He said
So
Clemson.
I was like,
Clemson.
oh yeah.
For who do you want to win? He said Clemson.
Jameis Winston has really good numbers, so.
Yeah, that's why I picked him.
Yeah.
Is he the
Jameis
true
Winston.
freshman?
Yeah.
He's a redshirt freshman, actually.
Oh.
I learned about because he came from a JUCO.
You know what? I'm getting sick of this whole system. I really am.
Because
Because to
actually,
me, you're a sophomore. You're not a freshman to me.
Actually, well, no, because I think he transferred. I think he only went one semester at a JUCO, and then he transferred to FSU. Because he did go to a JUCO and he played. Like, he actually got some physical playing time in a JUCO.
Texas Tech started a true freshman, I think. And that happened very rarely.
Well,
Pick unless you're
as a
Johnny.
system, you don't really want.
No, was that Manziel a redshirt too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manziel's a redshirt.
Oh,
Manzo was redshirt
Yeah, so he
freshman.
wasn't-
Yeah.
I'm calling him a soft.
But
He was a junior
Jameis
now.
Winston,
I'm calling him junior. I don't care.
he
Calling him
completed
NFL.
He completed 25 of 27 passes with 4 passing touchdowns against the University. Oh no, that was.
Oh, he's only
FSU.
19. Wow.
that was the first
I'm
start.
pretty sure. He
You
was
know,
drafted
is
for
any-
baseball. If that makes anything special.
Is anybody else bitter enough where they're like, oh, this 19-year-old's doing great things, and here I'm at 20 doing nothing?
It was kind of like,
Maybe I
yeah.
read it wrong. Maybe it
It's just
was
a little
something
bit
else
of
I was
bitterness.
Just go to his stats. At least.
reading. No, I know, but I didn't see it on ESPN. I saw it somewhere else. Maybe it was something else I read, and I got it confused. And he really is a true freshman. Because if he is, that's awesome. We need to see more true freshmen actually succeed in life.
True freshman, yeah.
True freshmen are impressive.
Shout out.
So since I can only find things for FSU, we're going to assume he is a true freshman and just say yes. true
In our
freshman.
hearts, he is.
In
In
our
our
hearts,
see it.
he will always be a true freshman, Jameis Winston.
Well, it
Congrats.
says freshman. Would it say redshirt if he was?
It would, actually.
So, maybe he is.
I don't know. We will look into that and get that info to you after this quick break. You're listening to Make Your Point on 91.1 Cut Radio. Savannah State Corner USC stuff.
Just go to ESPN and look at his age.
Well, his age might not be a thing.
If you're 19.
If he's 18, true
You
freshman.
can-
He's 19.
Red
He's
shirt.
ni- Okay, there you go.
Is
Redshirt
he?
freshman.
Oh, okay.
Red shirt freshman.
You were looking at the page too, and you didn't find it.
I know, but I
You
swear
suck.
it told me. Because last time I looked at it, it told me what school he went to,
Gotcha.
and I was trying to find school.
Savannah State, right?
Well, they did manual last year. Makes sense. They redshirted him. The redshirt
He
Winston.
did redshirt? I didn't think he did.
Who?
EJ Manuel?
No, I'm saying they redshirted
Oh.
Winston because they had manual.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
So that was State. Wow. Very interesting.
Very unique.
Savannah State's awesome.
One more.
So this is out of pity for him? Or?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's because we love them. Welcome back to Make Your Points. I'm Victoria Harmony. With me is Josh Earl, Nathan Poole, and James Hagedorn. Woo! I'm getting better at this. I need to close a few things.
We're still gonna call him the Thorn.
The Thorn.
That-
The Thorn's
that's gonna be
nickname.
During
your
basketball.
That's gonna be your nickname.
Yeah.
In our meetings, you're gonna,
You know-
you're gonna be like, "Hey, the Thorn,
I'll sign it.
represent."
Sign in sheet. The
Autograph.
Thorn.
The Thorn.
That could be like a play call.
There you go.
Like in our 3 plays.
The
We're just
Thorn.
going to call
When,
Thorn.
when we want
That's
to
the one
send
that sets
James,
me up.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
James for a 3-point shot or something. The Thorn.
Hopefully none of our opponents are watching
We'll
this.
we'll just go down the court. Thorn, Thorn, Thorn.
Make a hand sign too for
Yeah,
it.
it's like 2. Thorn, Thorn.
Definitely. But it is that time once again where we do Savannah State Corner. Savannah State played Florida A&M this previous week, and they lost 27-14.
Oh, they should have won.
I
Come
know,
on.
but to
Come on.
be fair, they only had 9 first downs.
Who was their one win against?
They're one I.
Fort Valley State.
They don't even have a picture. They don't even have a
Nope, they
logo.
don't even have a logo.
Oh, that's how legit they are.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll take a look at some stats from this last game. So FAMU had 15 first downs, Savannah State had 9. It was a real powerhouse on the offense. FAMU 289 total yards to Savannah State's 180. What?
Sorry, how legit their win against Fort Valley State doesn't have a page on ESPN. I can't click on that.
I know. There's like 8 teams I think that don't.
Maybe
I've
they're
seen
not
a
even
few.
real.
It's
Maybe
really to
They're not real.
They just
Maybe
paid the
they're
NCAA.
Because I have an app on my phone. I was so confused there wasn't a mascot picture because everything has a mascot
Yeah,
icon. I'm just
There's
like,
not even a
what?
page for this.
They're like a high school in the area that they just like paid to play in.
No, it's like a juke.
And they only beat him by a touchdown, which I thought that was like a fumble recovery for a touchdown in that game, or like a kickoff return for a touchdown. something like that.
Anyways, let's continue on. They went back to their 2-quarterback system with Bostic and Prunty. Bostic went 15 for 22, 99 yards passing, and he threw 1 touchdown. Prunty was 4 for 11 with 44 yards. Bostic was their leading rusher with 14 carries. Hey, who does that sound like?
Former quarterback.
Prunty was had the second most carries, but he had -9 yards. So obviously their run game kind of failed a little bit. Looking at FAMU, they only had their one quarterback who was 11 for 18 of 110 yards. Their run game must have been quite decisive because they didn't have much of a pass game.
Hey, on the plus side, they had a pick 6.
They did. They returned it.
Taking it back to the house. For their
Heck
first
yeah.
touchdown.
And they were down 20-0.
Yeah. On the downside, their special teams is awful.
The downside pretty much
They
everything.
need to work on it. I think the hype got to them.
Passing wise, they're
I think
okay.
so. I think they did better last week than they did this week.
Their yards per
They kinda-
completion is really ugly, though.
Yeah, they kind of went downhill this week. But FAMU, I think, is actually pretty decent in their conference.
Wow. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the rushing. That's...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, negative
Hey, that looked like one of our games.
negative one,
Their,
five,
their second most carries was
Was 5.
Prunty
Yeah.
with 6
and he had -9
for
yards.
-9 yards.
I know.
Hold
I
up.
just said
For,
this.
for some perspective, though, his long was 7.
I know.
So that means-
I just told
Did
you
you
that
say
he went
all
negative. Yeah.
So that means he had 5 carries
Yeah.
for negative
Yards.
16 yards.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Congrats. And that's assuming he didn't get positive yards in between them. Maybe he had positive 13.
I know. It's
right?
possible he just had one run and just ran backwards.
Just ran back
I mean,
20 yards.
how do I footballs? I just run backwards.
How do I football?
Maybe they thought Florida A&M.
Yes,
They thought Florida A&M
That
was
doesn't make
Florida.
sense.
I know. It does.
Yeah.
It's a meme. It's not supposed to make sense.
No. How do I don't get memes.
What?
That's
Are you in our generation?
No, I've seen memes. I'm just making a joke.
What's a Twitter?
What's a twit? What's a tweet?
But yeah, so that
What's a
was
burger?
last
Oh,
week's game.
burger.
This week they play, if I can pull the schedule up timely, maybe.
Hey, you know what I appreciate?
Maybe.
You put me in charge of making sure everybody's on that thing. I'm the only one that you can't see.
That's because you lean
I
back,
can't. You
lean
can't see me.
forward.
You can't see me.
Because I put my chair so low. You can see
You
You
can't
can
like,
see
see
me.
part of your head.
you can
This
see
week it's
the back,
Bethune-Cookman.
the
isn't it?
back left of my head.
If we put
It
your screen
counts.
down, just a little bit.
Enjoy it, folks.
You can. I don't care as long as everyone can see. Whatever.
Boom!
Good job.
Yeah, now you can see me.
Your product placement now too. That's the bottle.
I'm trying
Dr.
to pull the
Pepper,
schedule,
it's not
but
for
kinda
women.
failing
I
a
think
little
I
bit.
think I
Josh,
did
you
this.
have their
I think I did this on
schedule, right?
Monday.
It's Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah,
Yes, I
this-
do. Yes, I do.
Who do they play?
Who do they play? They play
Saturday.
Bethune
Bethune-Cookman.
Cook, who is 5-1.
Are they in the MEAC as well?
They are in the MEAC. Yes, they are 2-0 in the MEAC, and they are 5-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Savannah State is 0-3 in the MEAC.
So
this will be
They're
fun.
this will be another loss.
5, 1, and 4.
Telling it up.
And Bethune Cook, not only they're not in their 5 wins, most of them are blowouts. Actually, their one loss was against Florida State, where they got blown out.
That's understandable.
Which, yeah, I mean, what do you expected,
Are you
really?
sure that's Bethune Cook and not Spanish State?
Yes, that is Bethune
Okay.
Cook.
Because I know Spanish State played FSU.
Because I can read some stuff.
Okay. Alright, so moving on
They
to...
did not play Florida State; they played Miami.
You got
Oh,
one.
that's right. I was thinking last
Hey,
year.
Is that the
there's
game
too
where
many.
they-
There's too many Florida teams.
Is that the
What do you
game
know?
where they called it early because
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
such
they
ball?
played at 12.
They got beat 77-7
Yeah.
because that's always awesome.
So let's move on to our real school, not our adopted
Wait,
school.
can I make one more comment though?
Quick.
Yes.
If you have a game like that where you're getting blown out that bad, for the fans that stayed at the end of the game, I think they should get like a bunch of free stuff.
T-shirts.
Like really,
Free hot dogs.
like let's be real about it.
T-shirts that said I was there, 77 to 7.
That'd be awesome. I would totally wear that. But
I was there.
let's move on from our adopted school to Spanish State Tigers. They're the Tigers, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
Cougars.
yes, they're the Tigers.
Not the Tigers.
No, they're
Oh,
not
yep,
the Cougars.
They're
yep.
the Tigers.
Something.
And we'll move on to the USD Coyotes, which is our actual school.
USD.
So last week's game was a win.
Yeah.
17-14 over Indiana State.
Indiana State. Yep.
Sycamores.
Yep.
Larry
And
The
Bird.
Fighting Sycamores.
not only was this a win, this was my first game I ever went and saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Josh is kind of a lame butt when it comes
A little
to
bit.
watching
I kind of had
games.
to force him to go a
I
little
just
bit.
never really do it.
College
No,
games,
it just
anyway.
never really happened. Well, I mean, if you could stop losing your tickets.
I got my
One
press
more
pass.
game.
Those press passes are legit. I
Yeah.
like them.
Speaking of which,
We'll talk about it after the show,
Yeah.
Josh. Let's talk about stats. Passing. We started Kevin Earl this week rather than Josh Vandermountain. Earl went 15 for 25. He had 2 interceptions and threw 165 yards. He also had no touchdowns and was sacked 4 times.
It's a running team.
Yeah.
Pluses, minuses, pros, cons.
Here's the thing.
Or
He was
do you want
playing
more
pretty
stats?
well. That being said, okay, so his picks, awful, awful picks.
Well,
There-
yeah,
There was one interception they threw where he basically overthrew his guy by like
10 yards.
10 yards straight to the defender, literally to him in the end zone.
I don't know if he thought the defender was the guy.
Maybe he was blind. What colors was the other team?
They were
Anyways?
white. I remember I made the sarcastic remark at the game.
Oh yeah, maybe it was our.
I asked if Mr. Earl knew if we were wearing our red jerseys, not our white jerseys that day. But
Yeah, it was really bad, and then he threw another pick. Oh no, that one got
Batted.
knocked up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That one I don't really put on him so much. I mean, he threw it into really tight coverage, mind
Mhm.
you. But when you're in the end zone, you're trying to actually score.
I was
eh.
pretty happy with how our receiving core performed, though.
I was happy with the receiving core not dropping so many passes. I was not so happy with a lot of the run calls we made, or we still tend to run into walls.
Yeah.
Basically, our quarterbacks don't make very good reads,
Mhm.
effectively. You need to read at the last scrimmage when they're blitzing. We ran straight into blitzes several
Yeah,
times.
that's what
Yeah.
I brought that up on yesterday's show too. That
Yeah.
we could not do good pre-snap reads.
Mhm.
It seems like we saw him coming. It's like we saw him coming, but we still didn't get rid of the ball in time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and then special teams. I can't give much excuse for muffing a punt.
It
Just ever. I can never really excuse muffing a punt. I just can't.
happened. And they had a bad punt the week before, too.
Yeah.
And that one was
Yeah.
returned for a touchdown.
I mean, just put someone out there that can catch. I mean, if you're going to call a fair catch, all you need is someone that can catch. That's it.
and
That's
the funny
one
thing about
requirement.
that was he signaled fair catch on get away from it, and,
And
then
then
it
muffed
bounces,
it.
and it's like, oh, I can get it now.
And then you
It's
try,
like just let it go. You already signaled, let it go.
no, if he caught it and then just went down, that's fine. But he went to catch it and just
and
and just
They went
whiffed.
over there.
He just completely
Yeah.
whiffed. You can't just whiff like that. The one thing I was really happy about was our defense. I was very happy about
Our
our defense
defense is
stepped
for a
up.
second straight week, our
Especially
defense
second
stepped up.
half when
I was-
Tyler Starr
I was
was able to
happy-
come back.
I was
He had
happy-
7 tackles.
Yeah, I was happy about us getting hits on the quarterback. I remember
There was
I
5
told
sacks.
you. Yep, there was one. Well, I don't know how much of it was theatrics, that kind of stuff, but there was one point where like our defensive linemen had hit their quarterback, and then they were getting up and moving from the play, and their quarterback actually stuck out his foot, and took a pitiful attempt at tripping our player,
Oh,
and
really?
he could see it, and the defender was like playing it off. He's like, "Hey, that guy pointing at him," and that kind of stuff. And then I was yelling. I was like, the next play they came out and hit him hard.
Oh. Our
Like,
defense
they
is.
walloped him.
We have a great
Defense is good,
defense.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
We have
defense
one of
is
the
so
best
much-
defenses.
And
That's our
not just
strong suit.
defense. I was just really happy about us getting pressure.
Yeah.
We have a
have
great
to get
D-line.
pressure. I mean, we do a pretty good job of like preventing big plays and that kind of stuff, generally speaking. But we're not the best at getting pressure on the quarterback.
Sure, we do have one of the best defenses in the conference, so just
Yeah.
keep that noted.
I was just happy we were able to get hits on the quarterback, because as much as you can talk about like we don't want people getting hurt and that kind of stuff, and it's not good to want people in pain. When you're a quarterback, you want the other quarterback to be in pain. That's the one situation, not like in pain where they're like injured,
Right.
but you
Wait,
want to mess them up.
Yeah, I
basically,
think pretty much we won this game because we took Parrish out. We hit him
Yes.
hard enough that he went to the sideline and never saw the game again. I think if Parrish was in, we could have possibly lost that game.
I think it was a lot like Missouri State, where we injured their
Yep.
starting quarterback, and hey, look
hey,
who won
we
an
came
ugly game. I
alive.
still think it was ugly. I watched it, and
I
still
do
think
too.
it
I
was
agree
a
with you.
I just
terribly
accepted
ugly
the
game.
victory, but it was
This game,
it was rough.
it's kind of sad, like, because we were doing so good, and then we just still barely kind of squeaked it out.
A win's a
Doing
win,
so
Just kind of holding up. Well, yeah, wins a win.
and we've
win.
tripled our win total from last year.
This is true,
True.
because
Already.
Yeah, I can't just blatantly say our team is bad anymore.
our total offensive yards comparison, USD had 370 and Indiana State had 198. So obviously our offense did step up quite a bit, or their defense just
Our
didn't
run
step
game
up
was
at
there
all.
all day.
Mhm.
They could not stop our
And
run.
on that note, I don't know if he was the leader this year, but Trevor Obama, who is generally one of our top running backs, was named MDFC Rookie of the Week. Newcomer of the Week.
Yeah,
He leads the
Bama,
team in- yeah.
Bama has shown a lot. this
Leads the
season.
team in rushing, and he's like second in receiving too.
Yep, and he's a redshirt freshman.
He does
So-
everything.
So we're gonna have
Or
him for
redshirt sophomore.
redshirt freshman. We'll
When
have
he was
him.
sophomore.
No, it said redshirt
It's
freshman.
freshman.
I know my stuff.
Okay, so how about we look at the game this upcoming Saturday
Tough one.
with
Yes.
UNI?
They beat Iowa State this year.
Mm-hmm. And UNI is 4-1 against us at the Unidome.
Their only
And
loss
they
was
have the
NDSU.
number 4 defense
Yeah.
in the FCS. We have the number 25th defense.
The only
Kind of
loss
a
was
difference.
NDSU, and it was by
What?
one
That's
point.
kind of a difference, 4 and
Yeah, I know.
25. That's
I
kind
know.
of
I'm
big.
just saying.
They lost to NDSU at NDSU only by 1.
Yep. And then
That's
the
tough.
week
Wow.
before, they lost to Youngstown State in overtime.
Yeah, so
So
definitely-
these guys were that close to getting 2 victories already in the VSC.
yeah.
And sorry to say this, but I think they get their first one this weekend. I don't think USD, with the road woes that we have the manpower to beat them at home. And they have a great quarterback in Sawyer Cole Morgan, who's just a stud. Their running back is a stud. I think our defense is going to have their hands full,
Yeah,
and they just can't do it.
And the stat that pops out at me, just looking quick at the game notes, UNI has allowed only 3 rushing touchdowns to the opposition this season through 6 games. And how many passing touchdowns have we had? That actually really scares me a little
We're a
bit.
Two,
rushing
I think.
team.
Two.
No,
We've had
well,
less than
it-
5.
Yeah,
We've had less
I
than
think it's
5
actually
passing
4.
touchdowns.
It might be
Well,
4.
Earl
play
has
with them.
1,
And then Vandermont had 2.
Vermont had at least 2.
Yep.
so that's 3.
So we've had less, like I
Like you
said,
said,
and
less
they've
than 5.
allowed less than 5 rushing touchdowns, and that's pretty much how we get our touchdowns, just rushing. So it's just like, well,
So
this might
maybe
be an
Earl
issue.
should throw the ball.
It's up to
And
Bama, I guess.
And
Oh,
Earl,
wow.
Earl only has 1 touchdown, but he's only started
2 games.
2 games now.
And
But he's had
last
3
year-
picks.
And in this last game, our running game was, aside from running into walls, moving, generally speaking.
Well, yeah, we had over 300 yards.
I think we could have a chance. We could it would be an upset,
It,
but
yeah,
It'd be a big
definitely
upset.
an upset.
especially on the road.
Big upset.
Pretty much, if we're going to win this game, Bama has to get involved. I
Well,
do
he's
think
always involved.
Even
More
like
so.
more.
more involved. Also,
What
our
I
QB
think-
making a good read would be awesome.
What I think needs
What's
to
that?
happen, and I think it's pretty much how we're going to get any of our wins, basically, is our defense needs to really step up their game. Like they did this last week. I was really impressed with how the defense stepped the things up, especially first half without Tyler Starr. They really stepped it up, and they stepped it up more with Tyler Starr on the field after the first half. But
That's really sad to see that your star player is your main difference maker.
that's what
But
a star player is.
yeah, I know.
That's what the star
But
player
it's
is.
name.
really, yeah, a star in Tyler Starr, pun intended.
Definitely.
But with one quick point, even in that first half, our defense was lights out.
Yeah, definitely, and I was happy
Yeah.
to see they could do that without Tyler, and then they did it
They
again
have other
with him
pieces.
on the field.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, and,
And
our
then
defense is very good.
As soon as Tyler came back in, he was immediately involved.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you
oh
could just
my
see
God,
the energy
he
level.
was-
The
he
energy
was
level
making
from the
some
team
crushing
was
hits.
just
He was
amazing.
mad.
Emilius Davis, good defensive end.
Yeah,
Drew
no,
Innings,
we have
too.
a great defense, but I mean, I think that's exactly what's going to have to happen. Our defense needs to just continue being overbearing and outstanding. Otherwise, I don't think we have a chance. In
We-
any
At
we
the
really
very least,
rely on
our defense
defense.
needs to keep us in this game.
Yeah.
In
And
all
I-
games.
they grew
I
up.
think it goes to the entire season.
And I said this last night. Bold prediction: we need to score 20 points at least in order to win this
Score 20
game.
points
No,
yet?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
but I
We
was
need
just
to score
saying.
20
We,
points.
I'm going to keep saying it every week until I
We
see it
hold
happen.
those 17.
We need to
It could
score.
happen.
Not in the Unidome, I don't think.
I don't think we quite
Good.
have the weapons right now
Yeah,
and the
we
offensive
don't.
makeup to get to 20 points in a game, which is really sad to
We
say.
have
but
trouble playing consistent drives together.
Yes,
That's another thing.
that too.
Basically, we'll like move it a little bit. And be
I
like,
will
oh,
be.
got
I will
one.
be I'll be surprised if we can pull this off. But
I'd be happy, pleasantly.
in my gut,
Yeah, pleasantly
it's not
surprised.
going to happen.
But
I think in my
all
gut.
right, let's talk volleyball for a few minutes. USD Coyotes are now at the top of the Summit League Conference.
Yes.
We're excited. They beat
Denver,
Denver.
Swept
which
them.
swept them, which you were at calling
I
the
was
game.
calling it. I'm
Yep.
calling both the games this weekend too.
Sweet.
And that was Denver's first ever conference loss, Missouri
Yes,
Valley.
it was.
Yes.
They were both teams were 4-0 in the Summit Valley.
Pretty much
Summit
whoever
League.
won that game
Oh,
was going to
Summit,
be first.
yeah.
Summit League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
volleyball
mistake.
Summit League.
Yeah.
The football's the only one that's MVS.
And I talked about this last night too. I think this team's legit. They could go
I think so,
a
too.
long,
Crittenbrink,
long
Kroll,
way.
they're playing up numbers.
Natalie Walseth, all those tall players at the net, you can't get anything past them. They're just so dominant.
Something I really do want to see though is I want to see the kill ratio really spread out more because Crittenbrink does
instead of
get
always
a
going to
lot of the
Crittenbrink.
kills. Because I know they did. I think it was in the state series. I think it was North Dakota State. There was 3 girls that had kills in double digits, and I would love to see more of that. I want to see as many possible assists getting
Yeah.
out to as many hitters.
Even
as
though
we can.
Crittenbrink has shown that she can
Of course,
be that
no.
big guy.
I mean, I'm fine
You
with
know.
somebody being, dominant. Maybe she'll have 25 and somebody else will have 13. Like, I'm fine with that. But I would rather see, maybe 3
Right.
or 4 people, and maybe like,
Built off.
yeah, exactly, built up and Dimke and
Walseth.
Walseth. Definitely those others. Walseth didn't play
Oh,
against
she
Denver.
did? Okay. Well, sometimes she does.
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen her play. But I mean, to get at least, maybe 2 in the 20s and maybe have or 1 in the 20s and then 2 in the teens and then maybe one has 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I'd just rather get that spread out. But upcoming weekend, we play Western Illinois, and these are both in the Dome. We have a 2-game home series. Western Illinois on Friday at 7 p.m. and Nebraska Omaha is Sunday at 7
And that one
p.m.
is a
as
wear
well.
pink. It's a pink out.
Yes, pink out.
It's supporting of breast cancer, so make sure you wear pink if you're going to the game.
Breast cancer awareness.
Yep, breast
research.
cancer awareness. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Slight accurate.
Something else I want to bring up, Gruis was named preseason All-Summit League team. Trevor Gruis being one of the starters for our men's basketball team.
You've got high
Is he our
expectations this year.
center?
He
Yes.
is our center. He's
FBS?
6'7".
Or
I
division.
think he was the only guy last year that was actually scoring.
No, he wasn't.
No.
He was
He was
averaging,
off
he was
and
averaging
on.
8 points.
He was off and on.
Make a run at the tourney this year.
Terrible.
He needs to get better.
But
I have told Nate
Hold up,
plenty
how
about
tall
Trevor
is
Gruis. 6'7", 6'8". He averaged
This
about.
is the center of the college system?
Yeah, he averaged about. Well, he's like a low post.
he averaged, last year.
Power forward might be a little
Yeah.
Last year, he averaged about 11 to
Good.
12 points.
Because, I get that there's a difference between, the college and the NBA.
Yeah.
And the NBA 6'7" is a small forward, some shooting guards.
Welcome to college.
Yeah.
unless
Especially
you're,
small college.
unless you're
This is
Chuck
FCS,
Hayes.
right?
No, we're Division 1 and
Yeah, we're Division 1.
I think we're FBS and
But
basketball.
Division FCS
No, we're
football.
FCS.
Yeah, we're FCS.
Not
and
in
everything.
basketball.
Yeah, we are.
Are you sure?
Summit
Yeah,
League's
sure.
FCS.
Summit League is FCS.
Or is
Um,
no.
there's-
Basketball's not divided FBS, FCS. That's just football. But we
I
are
thought
still,
we could because FCSU can play.
Yeah, we're Division 1.
Okay.
But football has a differentiation. They have 1A and 1 AA.
Yeah. I think
And
basketball.
we're 1 AA
more
in football, but in basketball there's
But
no
we're in
differentiation.
Division 2, so that would be we
No,
aren't.
we're Division 1.
I know. I was saying a couple of years ago we were Division
Yes.
2.
Yeah, I know in football we're Division or FCS, but in
Yes.
basketball we can play in the
Yeah,
tourney.
because there's
yeah.
no
Oh yeah,
differentiation.
yeah.
That's what I'm
I guess I
talking
never
about.
really thought about
Yeah,
that.
there's no differentiation.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
By the tourney, you mean
The big tourney.
The big tourney. Like
Like
SDSU went. Basically, if we win our little.
Yeah.
If we win our
And
conference
we're
tournament,
an automatic qualifier because there's only 8 teams again.
Yeah.
Automatic qualifier.
Yeah! Huzzah!
But I wanted to bring that up because I think that's definitely
Yay for
interesting
shortcuts.
news. The first team was Gruis from USD, obviously. Was he first? I'm trying to find it. No, he wasn't first.
Well, he's
He's
second.
second team. He's second team, so he's second team All Summit League. On that second team is also Louis Jacobo from Fort Wayne, Adam Link of Western Illinois, Brett Olson of Denver, Mitch Patton of IUPUI. Interesting to see a Denver player on there already. That's
Yeah,
really
well,
interesting.
the division they were at before, probably he was a star.
No, I know, but usually you wouldn't put bet on because I mean they haven't even played Summit League yet. I'm kind of surprised to see.
Adam Link is actually a really good player. So
Looking
Yeah, I
at
wasn't-
the first team, Lawrence Alexander from North Dakota State, Marshall Bjorklund from North Dakota State,
Yeah.
Taylor Braun from North Dakota State, Jordan Dextra
NDSU's
from
up.
South Dakota State,
There you
Justin Simmons from UNO, UNO player, and Chris
And then
Udofa from Denver. So a Denver player making first team too. Really
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
NDSU
USD
powered.
Yeah, it's like
NDSU.
NDSU's team right
But
there.
it's because NDSU has so many like
Yeah,
7-foot
returners.
people, right?
They have returners too,
They
and they
were-
got tall people,
They're tall and they're physical and
which
they're
it didn't
good
really show
inside.
against SCSU.
It did, but SDSU had the targets outside
Nate
to
Walters.
differentiate it.
That
yeah.
too. Nate Walters.
Because I mean, the only thing that could really stand against NDSU last year, because they were a physical team, they were an inside team. The only thing that can beat an inside team is an outside team, and that's what SDSU embodied. They were an outside team.
We played with
Just
SCSU
like-
last year, right? We played them. We beat them, right?
we
The men beat
one
them
and one.
once, but in the Summit
Okay.
League they went out in 2. 1. It wasn't double elimination. It was just a
Nate-
one
Nate
single
Wa-
elimination.
Nate
They went
Walters
out
kind of
1.
went mean. Yes.
Meh.
He's gone now.
And the
Like they were-
He's
women,
with
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Yeah.
The
He's
women-
supposed to be a big
Played.
piece of the Bucks now.
the women almost won. They lost to SDSU in the finals. The women did
Yeah.
last year. in the Summit League.
They were so close. I think they were a basket away from tying it.
Oh yeah.
No, it was tied, and then SDSU took the lead in the last minute. Remember?
Yeah, but then USD had one final possession, and they only needed like a 2-point basket to tie it and go into overtime, and they just couldn't get it.
That's sad.
They tried for a 3. Polly Harrington got the offensive rebound, but couldn't put it back up.
Oh wow.
And it was just,
It was,
Jagger.
It was a good game.
Yeah, a good game for a championship game.
Hurricane was named SL Summit League Diver of the Week.
Just going right down. But also
I was
with
going to
that,
bring
the
up
USD.
Matthew N's fall of the top 10 finish. That's the one I want
Hey,
to talk about.
I
golf.
just want to point out, if you're like trying to fill time, we're over time, so I don't know.
No, I know. I wanted to talk about a few USC stuff. I was trying to find this golfing thing. but-
Also, the Lady Coyotes for basketball are expected to place 3rd this year. So.
Nice.
That has been our show. Again, we're over time, so no final calls.
I blame you.
Unless one of you guys wanted to give a final shout out to AP.
I want to give a shout out to Brandon Marshall.
Sure,
Yes.
go for it. Why
Okay.
not?
Okay,
Give
so
him a
apparently in the last week, so they're supposed to be wearing like pink shoes and that kind of stuff, or other like team color shoes. Brandon Marshall wore green shoes out there on the field. He was fined $10,500 for this because the NFL likes to hand out fines for different wardrobe things. And basically, Brandon Marshall, he's handled it like a pro. And actually, I think it's really awesome. This was in recognition for, let's see, what was it?
Mental illness.
Is Mental Health Awareness Week
Yep.
last week. And actually, Brandon Marshall was diagnosed in 2010 with borderline personality disorder. So effectively, he was
How do
coming
you
up.
know what borderline is that?
I can explain it to you later. I'm an abnormal psych. I can do it. And basically, he came out and on Twitter, he posted the letter that Goodell's office sent him and wrote on there, and quote, "Football is my platform, not my purpose. This fine is nothing compared to the conversation started and awareness raised." End quote. Fantastic. I can't give enough props for this.
He has earned so much more respect from me now.
Mhm, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
much more.
Any other final thoughts, words? Just say
Well,
goodbye.
there's a lot. I mean, I don't.
You already have yours. You're done.
Kind of the defensive. Where can you hit now with the whole Randall Cobb hit and everything like that? Defenses, it's getting harder to hit a certain strike zone. So, and that's the way the league's going to go now because Goodell's being a very safety player safety person right now.
All right, you're done. James, you got anything?
Milwaukee Bucks shout out Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hard to say his
It's
name.
not.
No,
Close enough.
the Greek Freak shout out.
The Green Freak. Lovely. All right. Thanks for listening to Make Your Point here. This has been week number 8. I'm going to try and get an official count hopefully this weekend so we know exactly where we're at. We can do a special 50. I had inspiration for a intro for our 50th show, but we have to figure out when our 50th show is, and if we missed it, then we'll have to plan something else. But thanks for listening this long, Via. Thanks for watching this long. I know a bunch of people have still been tuned in. I still have some people on live stream. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We'll be here again next week. Again, remember, we are 5 to 7 now, not 6 to 8 like we have been in past years. 5 to 7 every week. But we'll be back here with all the sports action, all the postseason baseball, NFL, and college with the best debate show on KAOR. This has been Make Your Points here on 91.1.
We have a problem. There's volleyball games going on tonight.
I told you that, dude.
I didn't know there was going to be that many.
How many are
You even told me. Oh shoot, 9:30. There's still volleyball playing tomorrow.
No.
Did that really not hit you in the head?
No. Well, we were playing at 8 tonight.
Yeah.
What time?
I know there would be that many.
They go all the way
They're
till
like-
10:15.
They're like all on Thursday and Tuesday.
So are the courts full?
Mac court will be full.
Most
There will
of them
be-
full. There's 3 courts. Okay.
The middle one
the number
is
1 will be full, and they usually
Mac-
take that third one.
Yeah,
so
Mac
one
court.
will be open.
So the second one might.
No, it won't be.
It won't be.
That's pickup basketball games. That is always full. There's no way we're getting in. So either we go really late tonight, like 11 o'clock, which people won't want to do, or we just don't have practice. We have it tomorrow.
We could.
I have no
play.
problem going late, but I don't know if the girls.
With
I don't-
midterms, that was probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I don't have a problem going late either because I don't have anything to do.
I mean, we
But-
can check it out at 8. And if there's,
We can be there at 8 because I already told Courtney I'd still be there at 8.
if there's pickup, we could play.
And they're going to be there at 8 too.
Yeah.
So we might as well just show up and just.
And then be like, hey, sorry.
Well, yeah. Well, you should have thought of this before.
My bad.
We even talked about it yesterday, man. I even said you even told me. Oh, 9:30, volleyball's playing. That didn't ring a bell.
Wednesday.
Well, you were talking about tomorrow. We were talking on Facebook, and you're like, "Oh, are you going to come Thursday?" Well, yeah. Oh, shoot, there's volleyball.
Yeah,
I didn't know exactly when all the volleyball games were until now.
Well, Thursday and Tuesday are not
So
good.
I can ask you whenever I feel like it.
Well, I see that now.
We can go and get ready. We can be there at 8. But if we know for a fact that
It won't work. At the very least, we can at least go over rules, I guess. But that's
915.
there's really not a whole
Where's that?
lot to go over.
I'll pass it.
just
526.
Which yeah,
sportsmanship,
Jenny,
basically.
all the girls are going to be there, so we might as well just keep it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could send out like text and emails like if we probably see them. But I don't know. I have no problem going late. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think the girls will want to. Jenny will want her sleep. Courtney will want her sleep. It's all okay.
We could go at 8. See who shows up, and we'll
Yeah.
ask them who wants to come later.
Yeah, that's the best we can do right now. Because I still have to go home with them.
Something to eat.
Yeah, that's it. So, I'm heading home.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to keep it at
Thanks
8.
for coming on, guys.
Yeah.
That's first.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I need to call my mom. Mama, I got an award! Because I got it last year. Hi, you streamers! We're going off there. Thanks for tuning in if you're still on there. If not, well,